always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. A new showdown over the Trump administration's crackdown on immigration. Protesters in Southern California clashed with ICE agents who drove through 2 pot farms in Camarillo, rounding up workers.
They're afraid to work. It's in between providing for their families and going to work, and they have no choice. They have to come out.
Federal agents used smoke canisters and what appeared to be tear gas on the crowds. CBS News LA's Joy Benedict.
I did happen to talk to one woman. She has 4 family members who work there at that particular facility, and she had heard that her brother had been taken into custody and that she hadn't heard yet from her aunt.
President Trump flies to Central Texas today to assess damage from last Friday's flash flooding that killed at least 121 people. Margaret Merrill, who lives in hard-hit Kerr County, will be pleased to see him.
I think it's awesome that he cares enough to come down here and help us and do what he can. So I think it's wonderful that he's coming.
More than 170 people are still unaccounted for. CBS's Karen Hua is in Kerrville.
More than 2,000 first responders, including a team from Mexico, are on the ground in Texas, searching for the missing.
It is a methodical search which ensures that every area in an area to be searched is covered and searched, and that no stone is left unturned.
Kerrville Police Sergeant Jonathan Lamb. A Justice Department official is warning of retaliatory dismissals days after she was fired. Patty Hartman's job included distributing news releases about January 6th prosecutions. She tells CBS News.
I am not political. I do not serve a president or a party. I serve the American people.
President Trump threatening to tariff Canada again if the 2 countries don't make a deal soon. CBS's Vicki Barker's at the foreign desk.
Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney has issued a statement saying his government will continue to defend Canada's workers and its businesses in the ongoing trade negotiations with the U.S. This after President Trump announced new 35% tariffs on multiple imports from Canada starting August 1st.
Traffic came to a standstill in Paris today. Dancers from the Moulin Rouge performed outside the legendary nightclub to celebrate as the wheels on its famous windmill were activated again. The massive decoration fell off more than a year ago. It was blamed on a technical problem. No one was hurt. S&P futures are down 42. Dow futures off 323. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. We offer auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit Progressive.com today.
At 6:03, we have sunny skies, 74 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Friday, July 11th. The news is sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station. I'm Megan Lynch.
And I'm Debbie Monterrey. The search continues for at least one more suspect following an overnight carjacking in the Metro East. Police agencies led by the St. Clair County Sheriff's Department chased after the car at speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour. By using spike strips, they were able to get the car to stop on a ramp to the Martin Luther King Bridge. 2 juveniles were taken into custody, some guns confiscated. A police canine unit assisted with that traffic stop.
The city of St. Louis decides how to spend Rams settlement money allocated for tornado recovery.
About 19 of the $30 million allocated will go towards 6 different categories, the largest of which $5 million to fund nonprofits and $5 million to home repairs for the uninsured and underinsured. The city is also funding resource hubs to provide supplies for those struggling with obtaining basics.
Meals and supplies, including coolers, porta potties, dumpsters, and several other things in that same vein.
Other funds will go towards storage for personal belongings, rental assistance, and temporary housing, amongst other needs. Mayor Spencer says residents can expect to see this money later this month. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
A new bill signed into law by Governor Mike Kehoe opens the possibility of St. Louis creating a new entertainment district downtown. Kehoe said the purpose of the district would be to create a public-private partnership to enhance safety and promote tourism.
They can market the area much better under this bill. They can work with post-certified law enforcement officers as well.
However, the bill does not establish the district. He says that has to be done by the city.
Some Metro East road work ahead.
We have more restrictions on 5570 that begin tonight. I'm Roger Brand. That's when they're going to shut down the westbound lanes of 5570 between 159 and 157, just like they did the eastbound side for the next 2.5 weeks, 17 days. The westbound will be closed. So the detour is the opposite of last time. Take 270 westbound to 255 southbound to get around that westbound interstate closure.
Some Illinois homeowners are in for sticker shock when they open their next insurance bill.
State Farm is hiking Illinois homeowners insurance rates by 27% on average starting in August, saying they are paying out more for insurance claims than they are collecting in insurance premiums. They also say that inflation and increasing severe weather play a role. State Farm says Illinois had more claims for hail damage in 2024 than any other state except Texas. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says in a statement that he's deeply concerned with the hike and adds, quote, hardworking Illinoisans should not be paying more to protect beach houses in Florida, unquote. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News, Chicago.
If you live in certain towns in our area, you can now block door-to-door salesmen from coming to your house.
What do you say, Joey? You get the whole set of encyclopedias for $1,200. That works out to just $50 a book.
Joey from the 90s TV show Friends is going to wish he lived in the cities of Arnold, Town and Country, Lake St. Louis, and Fenton, just to name a few. Each of those cities have similar ordinances where residents can sign up to have their address to be on what's called a
no visit list.
Fenton City Clerk Jane Hungler says all canvassers, solicitors, peddlers must have a permit to stand at your stoop and ring the doorbell or knock. That way they know what houses to avoid, but sometimes they don't play by the rules.
The resident does have the ability to contact the police department to let them know that person does not have a permit to do so.
Fenton City Code says for the first offense, canvassing without a permit, you'll be fined $200. If you manage to violate that law 4 times, it's $450.
You think I have $1,200? I'm home in the middle of the day, and I got patio furniture in my living room.
Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
Ultra-processed foods have been targeted by U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s push to make America healthy again. Now his agency is set to issue new recommendations for a healthy diet.
I'm a huge fan of what to add versus what to take away.
Michelle Wilson is a registered dietitian with Brands Nutrition. Wilson says there's a lot of confusion around the term ultra-processed. She tells KMOX's Total Information AM, we need to be careful not to rule out something beneficial.
And it can even demonize things that people might only have access to. So in food swamps or food deserts, we have people that only have access to convenience stores for their groceries. And then they might have only ultra-processed foods or only foods that are considered to be shelf-stable as accessible foods to them.
Wilson says she hopes any changes will be based on evidence from top experts in nutrition. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
Traffic and weather coming up in 2 minutes. It's 6:08.
Cardinal Hall of Famer Jason Isringhausen and Eddie Scholler from the world-famous Fast Eddie's Bonaire.
Hey, buddy, have you came over and looked at the new Eddie at Fast Eddie's? I finally got a new item. You know, it's been decades.
Decade? More like 40 years to figure out how to put a piece of shrimp on there with your steak.
I've known you for 40 years. You could have said something. Well, who'd have thought the Elwood could even get better? But we did it. We went and we made the Eddie. It's a foot-long serving turf.
Not that I needed another reason to bring the whole gang down there. I'm still going to order those big Elwoods, the succulent peel and eat shrimp, the hot chick on a stick, and that famous Fast Eddie burger. And I'm always going to get one of those ice-cold frosty ones and listen to that live music on that patio every afternoon and evening.
Well, I just love adding another great item for everybody to come over and enjoy. When you come on over the beautiful Clark Bridge and look at the picturesque Mississippi River.
Picturesque? That's very eloquent.
Thank you very much.
Well, like Mr. Shannon says, if you're 21 and in the mood, come on over to picturesque Alton, Illinois, and see the very eloquent Eddie at Fast Eddie's Bonaire.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life.
Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
It is 6:10. This is Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX. And in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center is where we find Roger Brand, who's keeping his eyes on your Friday morning commute.
And it's looking good, Debbie. In fact, the only trouble spot we had interstate-wise was cleared. Just after my last report, they took care of that tractor-trailer, stalled no matter what it was. It was on the Poplar Street Bridge westbound, so all lanes are open and traffic is already thinned out there. Still don't see any delays. You know, we had that restriction extended. North 270 at 44, that right lane is going to remain closed there. You can still get off at the exit. You can get around that, the closure. It's just on the overpass, but that'll be closed for an indefinite period of time, according to MoDOT. And the emergency repair work ongoing westbound 64 past Route Ford. I hope to have that wrapped up by 3:30 this afternoon. But right now, there are no delays headed through those areas, which is good news. We got some weekend road work coming up this weekend and next weekend. May as well talk about that. The ramp from northbound 170 onto westbound 270 in North County is being closed from 9 tonight till 5 Monday morning. That'll be this weekend and next weekend. I believe it's bridge painting that they're going to be doing there. Next update at 6:20 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, sunshine mixing with clouds, very hot and humid. A thunderstorm around this afternoon, the high 96. AccuWeather real fuel temperature between 100 and 105. Partly cloudy, warm and humid tonight with a couple of rounds of thunderstorms overnight of 75. Clouds and some sun, very warm and humid tomorrow with a couple of thunderstorms likely, especially in the afternoon, any of which could produce downpours, hail, and damaging winds, the high 88. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now we have sunny skies, 76 degrees in Florissant, 74 in St. Peters, and 74 degrees downtown at the Arch. The weather sponsored by Fairmount Park and Casino. Long Shots Restaurant now open. Enjoy delicious food, refreshing drinks, and unbeatable trackside views. Fairmount Park Casino and Racing, twice the action, double the fun, 20 minutes from St. Louis.
Cards need to win series, and they did that last night. I've got all the highlights coming up in sports.
It is 6:12 and the news continues. The major redevelopment of the Millennium Hotel site sends a message to other developers who might be considering investing in downtown, says Kurt Weigel. The chief downtown officer for Greater St. Louis, Inc. says in the interim, they work on other ways to engage people and make sure they feel safe and enjoy their experience downtown.
Why things like our downtown summer nights that is coming up again tonight are so important, just to create the right kind of vibe downtown. Movies and music and fun, great St. Louis food, the smell of food trucks wafting through the air. It takes all of these things.
Weigel was a guest on the Chris and Amy show. An aldermanic committee debated a bill Thursday writing into law the St. Louis City Sheriff's duties. However, the bill was not voted on because a key amendment giving the comptroller oversight of the Sheriff's Department spending was not approved. Alderman Matt Devotie is sponsoring the bill and believes it's important.
Amendment 2 was necessary for the bill to withstand judicial scrutiny.
Sheriff Alfred Montgomery and his legal team didn't show up to discuss the bill in committee. KMOX has reached out to a representative for comment.
It's now 6:13. Missouri has released its first report on the state's veteran suicide rate.
According to the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, about 171 Missouri veterans died by suicide in 2022 and 23. The State Veterans Commission's new report says that rate is higher than the national veteran suicide rate. Key findings in the 9-page report say contributors to Missouri's rate include the ongoing battle with stigma surrounding mental health struggles. Elisa Nelson, Missouri Net.
Governor Mike Kehoe signed Senate Bill 68 into law on Wednesday. A key component is for Missouri school districts to create and enact a cell phone ban for students.
We think it's important for kids to be able to interact with each other, pay attention to their teachers, talk to each other at lunch. It's a fantastic tool to get kids and their test scores and what they need to get done in school in a better spot.
Kehoe says the bill also requires CPR training for employees of school districts.
If you're considering sending monetary contributions to help the people of Central Texas impacted by flash flooding, CBS News reporter Christopher Cruz has some tips on how you can make sure your donations go to the people who need them and not to a scammer.
The Federal Trade Commission's top tip: donate to charities you know and trust and that have a proven track record of dealing with disasters. But even then, research the charity, especially if the donation request comes on social media. Check out organizations on the Better Business Bureau's Give.org or Charity Watch. There, you'll be able to find out exactly how much of your donation will go directly to the people the charity says it helps. Christopher Cruz, CBS News, Washington.
Well, the Redbirds looking to win a series from the Nationals last night, and they got off to a real good start. Back-to-back hits to start the game brings Alec Burleson to the plate.
The 3-2 pitch for Burleson. Ground ball to the shortstop. That gets a run in. Abrams throws out Burleson. Donovan crosses the plate. Wynn goes to third. 1-0 Cardinals with Wilson Contreras coming up.
In the third, Brendan Donovan singles. He moves up on a wild pitch, and Burleson adds on again.
The 2-2 pitch is hit hard in the left center field. That's a hit. Donovan rounds third base. He's going to score. And Burleson, with a single, a hard hit single to left center, has both RBIs in this game so far. It's 2-0 St. Louis.
And it was 2-0 into the bottom of the sixth inning when the Cards break it open. Wilson Contreras and Lars Nootbaar open the inning with hits ahead of Nolan Arenado.
The pitch on the way is swung on, and that is stroked past the first baseman low into right field. 1 run score, stopping at third, Nootbaar. It's an RBI single scoring Wilson Contreras as Nolan Arenado drives in his 42nd run. 3-0 St. Louis in the sixth.
Nolan Gorman walks. He loaded the bases, and then it brings in Joel Pozo.
Check out his 2-strike approach. He swings and hits it sharply off the glove of Abrams into left field. That scores another run. Abrams was trying to backhand the ball and start a double play, but the ball got past him, and the Cardinals have added on, leading 4-0.
Victor Scott brings home a run with a force out. Brendan Donovan makes it 6-0 with a sacrifice fly. Victor Scott is on second base when Mason Wynn hits.
The 3-2. Grounded down the right field line. A hit for Mason Wynn. That's going to score. Victor Scott the second, and Wynn has a double. 7-0 Cardinals. That's the second double for Mason tonight and his 19th of the year.
So a 5-run inning for the Redbirds, but they're not done. Wilson Contreras leads off the 8th for the Cards, or the 7th rather for the Cards.
It was a very nice display. There's a hard hit ball deep center field. Backing up is Young, and it's over his head and over the wall. A big fly for Wilson Contreras, leading off the bottom of the 7th, and the Cardinals add another. It's now 8-0 Cardinals.
Well, that is our call of the game. It's brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, SaligaHeatingandCooling.com. Nationals get 1 in the 8th, but the Cards win this one 8-1 to take the series from Washington. Miles Michaelis 5 2/3 scoreless innings in the win. Cards are just a game out of the final wild card spot in the National League. And tonight they'll welcome Atlanta to town. The Braves have lost 8 of 10. First pitch tonight is 7:15 at Busch. Next sports update is 6:45. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my 2 sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-885-9700. 800-885-9700. That's 800-885-9700.
Your morning news and information. Total Information AM.
620 at Total Information AM. I'm Megan Lynch alongside Debbie Monterrey. And let's check in now with Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center. How's the morning moving, Roger?
Well, it's doing great out there right now. Megan, we just said that one problem downtown on the Poplar earlier, and it's been cleared. This traffic reports the service of S&O coins and a lighter volume on a Friday morning than the rest of the week normally, so wouldn't expect to see too much in the way of problems. And right now, we don't have any. It looks great coming in on any of these routes that you choose, even in the emergency repair zone, westbound 64 past Route 4. That should be wrapped up by 3:30 this afternoon. No delays there. They extended that lane closure, North 270 and 44, that right lane closed on the 270 overpass. You can get around it and still get off at the exit ramp there, but that right lane's going to remain closed for an indefinite period of time. But even that's not bothering anybody. And in the permanent work zones, like 55 north of McNutt and north of Bayless, everything continues to cruise along for you in those locations as well. Next update at 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
S&L Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call S&L 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. S&L Coin.
We are going to have sun mixing with clouds today. It's going to be very hot and humid, and we could see a thunderstorm popping up this afternoon. 96 degrees. It's going to feel as hot as 105. Tomorrow, not quite as hot with a high of 88, but tomorrow we could be looking at a couple of thunderstorms in the afternoon with some flooding downpours, maybe some hail, and thunderstorms expected on Sunday as well. It's partly cloudy right now and 73 degrees in downtown St. Louis.
The news continues at 6:21. President Trump heads to Central Texas later this morning to tour the flood devastation there. Last Friday's flash floods killed at least 121 people, about 170 still missing. In Kerrville, Texas, there's a growing memorial of photos, flowers, and candles on a memorial wall for those who did not survive. Kerrville resident Margaret Merrill visited the memorial.
I came to express my condolences to all of those that lost their family and friends.
It has been 30 years now, but our wounds are still fresh and painful.
That's Elvir Akhmedovich, a survivor of the Srebrenica genocide. He was 14 when the city fell. He lost his little sister, his uncle, and his grandfather. In all, more than 8,000 men and boys were killed during the massacre, thousands more during the years the city was under siege. Nadim Remich says the Srebrenica Remembrance Coalition has been commemorating the 30th anniversary with movies and other public events, culminating in a walk tomorrow.
We are going to have the speaker series, and then we're going to hold a march around downtown. It's going to start at Polker Park. The event is going to be held in front of Soldiers Memorial. We're going to do around downtown, and then we're going to come back to Polker Park.
Remich says these are the darkest chapters in Europe's history, and it was just 30 years ago. It could happen again.
Missouri's film industry is rocking, according to Andrea Sporsic-Klun, director of the state's film office. She gives Missouri Net a list of some of the projects currently in production.
Ozark Law Season 2 is shooting at the Lake of the Ozarks. I thought they did a really great job of showing a tourist town and how the police officers have to kind of balance how they work. Okay, and the McBee Dynasty also used the tax credit last year, and I think they just launched their second season.
She says an Amish Christmas special is also being filmed in central Missouri and should air before the holiday. 27 film projects using Missouri's film tax credit have been approved so far this year.
A former Superman is criticizing the new Superman movie directed by St. Louis native James Gunn. Dean Cain, who played Superman in the 90s on TV, says he's worried the new movie might be too woke. Media expert Pete Loge talked about it with KNX Radio's Brian Ping.
I think it's all silly. You know, you're looking for opportunities to prove that you were right all along, even in the most benign, ridiculous little things. I mean, there have been political movies in the U.S., Birth of a Nation, for example. But, you know, come on, let superheroes be superheroes. Not everything is a national crisis or a reason to get on social media or try to get on TV.
He did point out a couple of things like, Superman no longer says truth, justice, in the American way. It's now truth, justice, and better tomorrow. Just, little things like that. And, playing up this angle that Superman is an immigrant during, everything that's going on in these times. Anybody who is bothered by that, should they just say, they just deal with it or what?
I think they should probably find other things to be bothered about. If the worst thing that's happening in your life is that the Superman slogan you remember from when you watched TV as a kid isn't the Superman slogan in theaters today, you're leading a pretty good life. My understanding of the controversy is a group of conservatives are very concerned that a pretend comic book figure from a pretend planet named Krypton is being shown to be not from the US, which of course by definition he's not. Krypton's a pretend planet. It's not an enclave in Sherman Oaks, right? You don't drive down Ventura Boulevard, take a right at Casa Vega, and you can't miss Krypton. By definition, he's an immigrant because he's from a different planet that again is pretend, and he's an alien. Again, different planet, and presumably doesn't have documentation. He's here illegally. There was no SpaceX docking station, at least in the shows I remember as a kid. And so the whole point of the comic book is here's a literally illegal alien who lands in Smallville, Kansas, again, pretend, moves to Metropolis, Illinois, also pretend, and becomes an American hero. Yes, it is an immigrant story of an immigrant coming to the US whose parents put him in a spaceship, which is like a boat, but in outer space, because what was going on in their home place, their home planet, Krypton, again, pretend, was really awful. And so they said, hey, we're going to put you in a spaceship. Maybe we'll get to America. It's a better place. You can build a better future, become an American hero. This is actually what Superman is about. So, enjoy it, roll with it. And also, seriously, it's all pretend.
That is media expert Pete Loge. Coming up at the bottom of the hour.
This is KMOX religion editor Fred Bottomer. Pope Leo honors Cardinal Burke's 50 years of priesthood in a personal letter. That story is coming up.
It's now 6:26. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
They've gone beyond the next generation of a family business. I'm Debbie Monterrey. Join me and Kevin Short of Clayton Capital Partners for the next Business of Family Business coming up Saturday at 2. We'll check in with cousins Steve and Joe Haberberger of Haberberger Mechanical Contractors. Their company is now on a 4th generation of Haberbergers running the company, and there is, yes, a 5th generation on the way. It's the Business of Family Business, Saturday at 2, only on KMOX.
We started Neovitin because we wanted to create a multivitamin for ourselves. That's why we focus on quality ingredients and formulas with our multivitamins. Neovitin 50 Plus multivitamins are formulated with over 20 vitamins and minerals, along with our 4-ingredient physician-formulated proprietary blend for the highest quality daily nutritional support. Give Neovitin 50 Plus multivitamins a try for yourself. Find them at your local Schnucks, Deerbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
Ready to make lake life a reality? With Anywhere Lombardo at Lake of the Ozarks, you can build a home designed just for you. Whether it's a cozy retreat or a luxurious lakeside escape, our custom designs bring your vision to life, set against stunning lake views and peaceful surroundings, the perfect balance of relaxation and adventure. With a trusted builder backed by long-standing vendor relationships, you'll enjoy cost savings and superior quality from start to finish. Start your dream home today with Anywhere Lombardo. Visit lombardohomes.com to learn more.
Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort, offering small ship experiences with a shore excursion included in every port and programs designed for cultural enrichment. Discover more at Viking.com. That's Viking.com.
Chris Ranchi, Amy Marks Kors. The Chris and Amy Show.
I would just like to say you guys are awesome. I've just been turned on to this since it's been on 104.1 at the FM dial, and I think you guys make me laugh, and you're informative. I just love you guys' show. You guys are amazing.
The Chris and Amy Show. Weekdays at 9 on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app.
Today,
the Cards, the Braves.
Hamlin Total Access 620.
Cardinals Radio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
At 6:30, we have sunshine, 74 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch.
I'm Debbie Monterrey, and this is Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, things are moving along nicely. A Friday morning, pretty easy going with that early crash on the Poplar that was short-lived. Looks like a stall to me. Doesn't really matter, but it's gone now. If you're traveling through the construction zones even, normally we'd be starting to see some slowdowns on 55, but right now it looks great. Coming through McNutt, the right lanes at Butler Hill, no delays. North of Bayless up to River to Pear, everything's smooth sailing there. Right lane remains closed. North 270 at 44, again for an indefinite period of time. No delays, though, headed up through there from Gravois and in the work zone around Ladue. Everything still looks great. Southbound 61 coming down onto 64 or 70 coming out of Wentzville. Both a good run all the way across the Missouri River bridges, downtown across the Poplar. Like I said, no issues. And the emergency repair work, westbound 64 west of Route 4, should wrap up this afternoon at around 3:30, maybe earlier, who knows. But right now, again, still no delays headed through there. Next update at 6:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We may see a few clouds today, otherwise sunny skies, hot and humid. A thunderstorm possible this afternoon. We're expecting a high of 96 degrees, but it could feel like it's as hot as 105 this afternoon. For tonight, partly cloudy, warm, humid. A couple of rounds of thunderstorms possible with an overnight low of 75. Currently, sunny skies, 74 degrees downtown at the Arch.
Debate over a bill clarifying the role of the St. Louis City Sheriff had a noticeable absence.
Sheriff Alfred Montgomery was not there as the Board of Aldermen discussed the bill. Its sponsor, Alderman Matt Devote, understands the sheriff not making an appearance to publicly discuss the legislation, saying the quo warranto to remove him from office puts Montgomery in a bind.
We all know the position he's got to take with respect to this bill because of that litigation. He's got to oppose the idea that one of his responsibilities is to transport detainees requiring medical attention.
An amendment giving the comptroller oversight on the sheriff's department's expenditures was rejected by the Public Safety Committee, prompting Devote to hold off on a full vote on the bill while he works towards a resolution. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
KMOX has requested comment from the sheriff's department, but we've not heard back.
The city of St. Louis has announced plans on how to allocate a little over $20 million of the Rams settlement for tornado relief efforts. 6 funds have been set up, including resources for food and supplies, temporary housing, and legal assistance. Mayor Kara Spencer says they're also creating an office to focus on the continued recovery in City Hall.
This office will lead the city's recovery efforts, continuing the efforts that began at the Emergency Operations Center, the EOC at police headquarters.
Spencer says next week, the Board of Estimate and Apportionment will approve the RAM settlement plan. She expects residents to start seeing funds later this month.
A Rock community firefighter has written, illustrated, and published a book series about a little girl who learns about fire service.
It's called Indy Becomes an Engineer. At my district, it's a year-long process of driving trucks, learning how to pump, and all the ins and outs of being an engineer. It's the second book in a series. The first one was called Yeah, I Can Do That, about a little girl who was interested in the fire service.
After years as a teacher, Lane Carl became a firefighter at the age of 34. She has plans for more books showing young girls in the fire service.
The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. We've got your money report coming up next.
This is Tom Ackerman. Enjoy your outdoor space this spring with vegetable gardens and fresh landscaping. And with St. Louis Composting, they can help you with that. Order online for delivery, or you can pick up premium soil, compost, and mulch at any of their 9 locations. You can find those locations at stlcompost.com. At St. Louis Composting, they transform organic yard waste like branches, leaves, grass clippings, and more into premium compost through a 6-month static composting process. As the largest and most trusted compost provider in the St. Louis area, they're committed to producing only the best. All of their products are STA certified, and they proudly offer compost for organic gardening and farming. Whether you're looking for bulk compost or just a few bags, St. Louis Composting provides an extensive selection of STA certified compost, soil blends, and mulches. Visit one of their 9 facilities in St. Louis, stlcompost.com.
It is 6:34, and this is Total Information AM. Time to get you your money report, which is sponsored by Eamon Gentner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys.
Good morning. San Francisco Fed President Mary Daly says she still believes 2 interest rate cuts are likely this year and predicts much of the impact from tariffs will not result in higher inflation. Daly says some firms are negotiating to split up tariff costs so they don't have to pass along as much of the expense to their customers. AI is leading to lost jobs at 2 companies that help people find jobs. Indeed and Glassdoor are cutting roughly 1,300 jobs as part of a move to combine operations and shift more focus to AI. Some good news in the oil industry as BP says it expects to report rising production and a strong result from its oil trading business for the second quarter. When the company reports earnings on August 5th, the oil giant says production for the 3 months through June is now expected to be higher compared with the first quarter after an earlier guidance had said it would be broadly flat. With your Bloomberg Money Report, I'm Kimberly Adams on the Voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM KMOX.
The heat's really been extreme last week or so. I have a wife that's going through change of life, and she woke me up at 3 a.m. and said there's something wrong with the air conditioner. I checked the thermostat, and it's set at 66, and it is saying 66. Like we set it every single night. I said, okay, how do you feel? She goes, okay, well, as long as it's 66. And then within 2 minutes, all the covers are back on her, and she says she is freezing. I said, honey, the air conditioner isn't broke. Your thermostat is broke. So if you're living that way, my advice is this. I'm not the brightest bulb in the box, but here's what I do. I keep my laughter inside. It is real what they're feeling. You don't need to call me. You can say you called me, but you don't need to call me. Save your money. This is Bart Inman. One easy number in Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. God bless.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Cards manager Ollie Marble joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center on the Voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX.
More news now at 6:38. The Trump administration is barring Head Start preschool programs from enrolling children who are in the U.S. illegally.
The Department of Health and Human Services announced it will restrict immigrants in the country illegally from enrolling in Head Start programs. Head Start began 6 decades ago as part of President Lyndon Johnson's war on poverty. HHS says it will reclassify the programs as federal public benefits, and eligibility will be determined based on the child's immigration status. The changes also affect community health centers. In a statement, Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says the action restores integrity to federal social programs. Yasmina Vinci with the National Head Start Association says the requirement will likely create confusion and disregards decades of evidence that Head Start is essential to the nation's collective future. It's part of the Trump administration's campaign to roll back access to federal benefits for immigrants who lack legal status. Jennifer King, Washington.
A Gallup poll shows a substantial jump in the share of Americans who view immigration as positive for the U.S. since President Trump took office. About 8 in 10 U.S. adults say immigration is a good thing, marking a 25-year high. The poll finds the share of Americans wanting U.S. immigration reduced has dropped from 55% to 30% in the past year, largely driven by Republicans becoming more content with the country's immigration levels.
Manhattan getting ready for a special event. CBS News correspondent Wendy Gillette fills us in from New York City.
Here comes the sun. The Beatles may have written the sweetest soundtrack for Manhattanhenge, when the setting sun aligns perfectly between skyscrapers on the city's east to west grid, happening Friday and Saturday. Chief astronomer at the Franklin Institute in Philadelphia, Derek Pitts, says it's bigger than just a beautiful image.
You can sort of put together the clockwork of the heavens with your everyday observation of the daytime sky.
And he says you can find your own henge by determining an east to west street in your area and looking at times and positions of the rising or setting sun to figure out when the heavens align for you. Wendy Gillette, CBS News, New York.
It is 6:40, and you'll definitely have some sun in your eyes this morning, so grab the sunglasses. Let's get you updated on traffic and weather. Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, it's a nice run out there so far this morning, Debbie. We had problems earlier, but right now things are great. This traffic report is a service of Sachs Financial. If you're heading out the door, heading up northbound 55, it looks good at McNutt, the right lanes through Butler Hill, north of Bayless in the work zone. Not seeing any delays through there, so things are okay at that point. If you're traveling on Highway 64, actually 61, southbound onto 64, or eastbound 70 for that matter, from the Wentzville split across the Missouri River bridges, everything looks good through that area as well. And we're scheduled to start some road work yesterday on 70 out around Forest Hill, installing the median wall. They're going to save that till Monday night coming up, so they pushed that back a little bit. So let's be advised they don't have that change in effect and aren't going to be working on it right now. They're going to wait a few more days to start that. So that's good news. Next update at 6:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Hi, this is Jeff Sachs at Sachs Financial. Let's tune out the noise a little bit and focus on a retirement plan. If you don't have one or don't know how to get started, find us on our website at saxfinancial.com or retiresafestl.com.
We are still stuck in a hot weather pattern. Let's get the latest on the forecast from AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg.
And Megan, today's the hottest of the bunch. We're starting off with that bright sunshine. Definitely going to need the shades today. Definitely going to need the hydration because temperatures are headed up to 96 as sunshine mixes with clouds. Although there can be a thunderstorm that pops up for the afternoon hours. Keep that in mind. Now tonight, partly cloudy, warm and humid, a thunderstorm or two. There's a risk of some severe weather overnight to those 75. Tomorrow, more active day. Clouds and sun, very warm and humid. Could be a thunderstorm early, then a thunderstorm or two in the afternoon. Those can produce downpours, hail, and damaging winds, the high upper 80. So at least it's not as hot tomorrow. Sunday, more clouds and sun. Still a risk for a thunderstorm. Best chance in the afternoon, the high 86. And we keep that thunderstorm chance in the forecast for Monday and Tuesday. Some sunshine, about 89 on Monday, 91 for a high on Tuesday. Again, the continuing risk of thunderstorms. 75 now at St. Peter's, 76 in Florissant, nice and sunny, and 78 downtown at the Arch. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
I'm Joe Pott. I'll tell you who's hot, who's not. That's straight ahead in sports.
It is 6:42, and a new bill signed by Governor Mike Kehoe could provide a boost for downtown St. Louis.
The bill allows St. Louis to establish a special entertainment district, which can put funding towards marketing and public safety measures. Kehoe says the district could receive both private and public funds.
The individual businesses would be a part of it, but it also allows this entertainment district to receive funding from, for instance, Department of Tourism or an entity like that would help promote tourism in that area.
However, the bill does not create the district. That would have to be done by the city. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
It sends a strong message to the rest of the investment community.
That's Kurt Weigel, Chief Downtown Officer for Greater St. Louis, Inc., talking about the major development plans for the old Millennium Hotel site.
I think it's good for that parcel, clearly, and I like the plan that they've come up with. But also, I think it speaks volumes to others who may be considering investment in downtown St. Louis.
Weigel tells Chris and Amy that when a developer like Cordish Companies takes another swing at this big downtown, it spurs other development as well.
As the sun goes down tonight, the orange cones will go up on the Illinois side of the Mississippi.
Well, tonight we begin another closure of 5570. This time it's westbound 5570 instead of eastbound. Westbound will be closed between 157 and 159 starting tonight at 9 p.m. It'll last 2.5 weeks, 17 days. Of course, the detour is the opposite direction of what it was last time, and that's to take 270 westbound to 255 southbound to get around that closure. Roger Brand, KMOX News.
It is now 6:44, and Let's get you an update here about, I think this is news people need. Ready?
Never said love was easy. Justin Bieber dropped his 7th studio album, Swag, at midnight. It features 21 songs. Many are personal. Love Was Easy is an apparent ode to his wife, Hailey Bieber. A collab with rapper Lil B, a tribute to their 10-month-old son, Jack Blues. Another therapy session is just that.
You know, I have had to go through a lot of my struggles as a human really publicly.
People says Bieber worked on the album at a studio in Iceland. It's his first since 2021's Justice. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
That was the first text I saw on my phone this morning sent to me by my daughter. Justin Bieber is
Important
dropping a new
news.
album tomorrow.
Yeah, it really wasn't on my radar.
I was like, oh, look, here it is. I was informed by my daughter.
I was so excited.
It is 6:45.
Who's Hot, Who's Not is sponsored by St. Louis Composting. Order online for delivery or pick up premium soil, compost, and mulch at any of our 9 locations. St. Louis Composting, growing gardens, making memories. Miles Michaelis was good last night for the Redbirds, turning in 5 2/3 scoreless innings. He allowed just 2 hits and struck out 6. Cards manager Oliver Marmol liked what he saw from the Cards right-hander.
Had everything working, stayed out of the middle. To your point, I think retired 13 in a row or so. Just did a really nice job, man. A lot of comebackers, a lot of ground balls to first, a lot of soft contact. It was the changeup, especially against this lineup with as many lefties that are in there. Changeup was a really good pitch for him. Threw 12 of those, 11 for strikes. The sweeper was a good one. Used it appropriately. Got the punch out on Abrams with that. So I thought he mixed well enough to keep them off balance, and we needed it, man. We talked enough about it. We needed him to have a bounce back type of an outing, and that's exactly what he did.
Michaelis, meanwhile, said he felt good, and that actually started during his last start in Chicago.
It felt pretty good. Like I said, after last game, after that third inning, I kind of figured out, what I was doing wrong, fixed it, went from there and just went out, pitched my game. Same thing today. Played some good, we had some good defense. Bats came alive there later in the game. Just a good overall team. I think it felt good for everybody.
And Michaelis said the timing could not have been better.
Going into the All-Star break, feeling good, I think is important. Have a strong second half. I know we're in the race a little bit, that wild card spot, and, never too far away with from the division with a lot of our division series coming up. We got a tough second half, but it feels good to have a good one before the break for sure.
Well, Washington leaves town having lost 5 of its last 6 games. Atlanta comes to town tonight. The Braves have dropped 8 of their last 10 games. First pitch is set for 7:15 tonight. St. Louis City is back at Energizer Park tomorrow night. They'll face Portland, and the team could have a key piece back. Edvard Leuven, who hasn't appeared in a game since May, should be available, according to interim manager David Critchley.
I hope so. He trained towards the end of last week as well with us. This week, he came in the session fully. Didn't take a break in the games at the end, as you guys had saw. So we think his fitness is good enough now to come in for the weekend against Portland. He's a massive help for this team. His presence just in general, as a human being away from the field, but then his quality that he brings to the team, we all know what he can do with the ball. So we're looking forward to having him back in our roster for this weekend. Yeah.
The Timbers beat City 2-1 in Portland in June. Kickoff tomorrow night is 6 p.m. Pregame on our sister station Y98 is set for 5:45. Next sports update comes up at 7:15. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
104.1 FM, KMOX. News, talk, sports.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
It doesn't take a lot to make a big difference.
That's why we've teamed up with Jerry Kelly Heating and Cooling to bring you 100 acts of kindness.
For the next 6 months, the Chris and Amy Show is challenging you to spread kindness in simple, meaningful ways. No big budget needed.
Write a thank you note, help a neighbor, surprise someone with a smile. It all counts.
Let's prove that kindness is contagious. Share your acts with us by using hashtag 100KindActs.
Because a little kindness goes a long way.
The trip of the summer is coming. Collective Soul. Live. Summer Unity Tour 2025. July 17th, Hollywood Casino Amphitheater with Our Lady Peace. Special guest, Graylin James Rue. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Collective Soul. Live. Our Lady Peace. Together. Today, the Cards, the Braves. Hamlin Total Access 620. Cardinals Radio. 104.1 FM KMOX. Now, the news. At 9, The Talk. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
6:50, let's get you updated on your ride into work with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, you only have yourself to blame, I think, if you're going to show up late for work this morning, Megan. The highway shouldn't be slowing you down. This traffic report's a service of Terrace Senior Living of Eureka because everything's still looking good around the area. 55 still looks great in the work zones around McNutt, north of Bayless. Northbound 270, that lane closure, the right lane at 44 isn't bothering anybody. 270 at Ladue, everything still looks good. Southbound 61 on to 6470 coming out of Wentzville. There are still no issues running through there. Downtown, we still look great westbound across the Poplar and Musel Veterans Bridges, and still no delays on westbound 64 through the temporary work zone, the emergency repair work going on just west of Route 4. Again, that's scheduled to wrap up by about 3:30 this afternoon, so that'll be good news for you there. We won't have to deal with the afternoon rush hour backup because even in the afternoons, we've had pretty extensive backups of a couple of miles of at least slow traffic through that area. Next update at 6:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Check out the Terrace in Eureka for affordable senior living with 24-hour nursing supervision, delicious meals, medication management, and activities. The Terrace is affordable and will work with your Medicaid plan. Go to rspseniorliving.com and look for the Terrace Private Assisted Living.
It is going to be a really hot and sticky day today, but this is the hottest day of this forecast. That's the good news. 96 degrees, but it's going to feel as hot as 105. Sun mixing with clouds, and we could see a thunderstorm this afternoon. More likely tomorrow afternoon when we could see some heavy thunderstorms and flooding downpours. Right now, though, in downtown St. Louis, it's mostly sunny and 73 degrees.
The news continues at 6:52. Missouri now has a statewide cell phone ban for students in schools. Governor Mike Kehoe says it's part of a school safety package he signed into law Wednesday.
Safety is paramount to us, and we believe that this is a great piece of legislation that Missourians will benefit from for generations to come.
Kehoe said while students will no longer be able to use personal cell phones during class, meal breaks, or study hall sessions, parents will still have access to their children at school. He did not explain how that will take place. Each district will need to craft its own plan.
Guaranteed paid sick leave is no longer the law in Missouri. Governor Kehoe signed a bill that essentially overturns the statewide amendment issue that was passed by voters last November that also increased minimum wage. While signing this bill into law, Kehoe said it was about protecting the people who make Missouri work, rolling back overreach and eliminating costly mandates. Business groups like the Missouri Chamber of Commerce supported the repeal of the sick leave mandate.
Something positive in high school athletic news from across the river. Rick Gregg from WBBM reports.
Nationally, there's a shortage of qualified high school officials, but not in Illinois, where 12,000 people wore the badge this past school year, many from multiple sports.
We distributed over 20,000 licenses, so we're really at an all-time high.
Illinois High School Association Associate Executive Director Kurt Gibson says the state has recovered from a COVID-related dip.
We're excited about that, but we recognize that those newer officials into the space are the ones we need to keep active, keep involved, keep excited, keep enthused so that they want to make officiating a little longer term kind of avocation in their life.
Gibson and the rest of the IHSA are welcoming over 600 referees to Normal this weekend for the state's annual Officials Conference. Clinics, training, awards to the Officials of the Year, all in the plans.
Proposed legislation in Congress would prevent schools from using student fees to bankroll college sports.
A bill to regulate college sports introduced in the House would offer limited antitrust protection for the NCAA while barring schools from using student fees to pay for college athletic programs. Co-sponsors of the SCORE Act include 7 Republicans and 2 Democrats, which gives the bill a fair chance of passage in the House. It would need at least 7 Democratic votes in the Senate, where its chances are viewed as slim. The bill includes protection while also setting standards for NIL payments. I'm Gethin Coolbaugh.
Federal prosecutors asking for a nearly 6-year prison term for former ComEd lobbyist Michael McLean, one of the so-called ComEd 4. Here's Mike Krauser.
Prosecutors wrote in a 48-page sentencing filing, McLean's plan was illegal to its core, that his repeated overstepping of legal lines in the case is stunning. The former lobbyist and confidant of disgraced ex-House Speaker Michael Madigan was convicted of bribery conspiracy. Prosecutors said he arranged no-show jobs to curry favor with Madigan in exchange for the then Speaker's support of ComEd legislation. The Tribune reports McLean's attorneys are asking for probation, writing that he passed along a handful of job recommendations from Madigan. They wrote doing so was legal and constitutionally protected lobbying. The sentencing hearing for the 77-year-old McLean will take place on the 24th.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement.
It's your birthday.
And today's KMOX birthday shout-out sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER. Forward and back, family-owned and top-rated, RennerDoorSTL.com. Celebrity birthdays for this Friday, July 11th, include fashion designer Giorgio Armani, 91 years old. Singer Suzanne Vega is 66, and rock guitarist Richie Sambora of Bon Jovi is 66.
Local celebrity birthdays include Judy Benton from Marianne and Willie, Dodo Mooney from your IWA friends, Rosalie Patrick from the Springs, Mary O'Brien from your friends at St. Dismas. Happy birthday wishes going out to Andrew Stolze, also Rhonda Tempia from the Life Group, Carol Schukart, Karen Oresti, Deanne Babler, Patrick McGonigal, and our very own Judith Anderson.
This is the best birthday ever.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my 2 sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-408-4040. That's 800-408-4040. 800-408-4040.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius or 2 half geniuses and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
6:58. Let's see how things are rolling. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, still nobody complaining about the drive-in. Megan, if you're northbound on 55, it looks good down around McNutt. It looks good north of Bayless. And the construction zone, that right lane closure, north 270 at 44, not bothering anybody. It's still hustling up from Gravois through that stretch. If you're coming out of Wentzville, southbound 61 down onto eastbound 70 or eastbound 64, Great runs across the Missouri River bridges, the Poplar and the Musel Veterans Bridge downtown. Westbound is still okay. We have that emergency repair work going on westbound 64 west of Route 4 that hopefully will wrap up by 3:30 this afternoon. But even in the afternoons, we've had lengthy delays through there. But right now, again, light enough volume that too is still on the move for you in St. Clair County. Next update at 7:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It is Friday, July the 11th. I'm Debbie Monterrey, and these are the stories making news.
I'm Sean Malone. The city of St. Louis has announced how they'll spend some of the RAM settlement money they allocated towards tornado relief.
This includes some additional rental assistance.
I've got that story coming up.
I'm Megan Lynch.
This is KMOX religion editor Fred Bottomer. Pope Leo honors Cardinal Burke's 50 years of priesthood in a personal letter. That story is coming up.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. It's going to get very hot and humid today with sunshine and some clouds, even a thunderstorm in the afternoon, the high 96.
I'm Joe Pott. I'll tell you who the Cards are banking on as they open a series against the Atlanta Braves tonight at Busch. That's coming up in sports.
At the Tone, it's 7 o'clock in Mid-America.
Mid-America's most trusted voice for news. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is the CBS News World News Roundup, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Federal immigration raids at 2 Southern California pot farms sparked chaotic protests. Correspondent Carter Evans is north of L.A. in Camarillo.
As the situation escalated, agents deployed what appeared to be tear gas, sending much of the crowd running.
There's got to be a better way than the way that they're acting right now.
Some appeared to throw rocks at government vehicles. Melissa Tapia says she was waiting to hear from her family who worked at the farm.
They took my brother, they took his phone away. They're banging on there, not letting people out.
In a social media post, Customs and Border Patrol Commissioner Rodney Scott says 10 juveniles were found at the farms, all undocumented. Word just in, the State Department is firing more than 1,300 career diplomats and civil servants. CBS News has learned it's part of the Trump administration's sweeping plan that began earlier this year to reorganize the department. A 17-year Justice Department official's warning the agency is out for revenge. Patty Hartman, whose job included distributing news releases about January 6th prosecutions, was fired Monday. She tells CBS News.
There used to be a line, used to be a very distinct separation between the White House and the Department of Justice, because one should not interfere with the work of the other. That line is very definitely gone.
She's the fourth person dismissed in the past month. President Trump flies to Central Texas today to view the devastation from last Friday's catastrophic flash flooding. At least 121 people were killed. The search continues for another 170 or so still unaccounted for. CBS's Jason Allen is in Kerrville.
There's no end in sight for the crews painstakingly sifting through every inch of the disaster zone.
It's all hands on deck.
Patrick Turk is a program director with Texas Search and Rescue. As people remain missing, he and his team will keep working to find them, even as they face new challenges.
Now we're dealing with the water being down drastically and huge debris fields that we have to sort through, and that takes a lot of time.
It's sweltering in Phoenix, where temps have topped 100 on all but 4 days in the past 5 weeks. Phil Butler's keeping a close eye on his plumbing and air conditioning crew.
We provide umbrellas and stuff for them to keep them in the shade. And of course, I'm out here, make sure everybody's okay. If I see anything that signs of dehydration, we sit them down, we break them.
23-year-old American delivers a surprise at Wimbledon.
Amazing, Amanda. Emotional Amanda.
Amanda Anisimova beating top seed Arina Sabalenka to reach tomorrow's women's finals. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or 2 half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
At 7:04, we have sunny skies, 76 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Friday, July 11th. I'm Megan Lynch.
And I'm Debbie Monterrey. Some of the RAM settlement money will soon be used to help victims of May's tornado. KMOX asked, how will it be spent?
The city will divide 2/3 of the RAM settlement money they allocated into 6 categories. They include funding for case management and legal services, providing cooling through water stations and sprinklers, and repairs for and underinsured victims. Mayor Kara Spencer adds another fund is being dubbed Unmet Needs.
This includes some additional rental assistance for folks that are falling through the FEMA cracks, non-congregate temporary housing, and storage of personal belongings.
The city cannot duplicate FEMA's efforts, which is why they waited until now to announce these plans. The remaining nearly $10 million will be held to backfill any programs that run out of funding. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
An aldermanic committee debated a bill that writes into law the St. Louis City Sheriff's official duties. However, the bill was not voted on because a key amendment giving the controller oversight of the Sheriff Department's spending was not approved. Alderman Matt Devote sponsoring the bill. He believes it's important.
Amendment 2 was necessary for the bill to withstand judicial scrutiny.
Devote says he wants more time to discuss the amendment with the committee, but says its exclusion is not a bill killer.
We want that in there. Does it kill it? No. But there's no rush.
Current Sheriff Alfred Montgomery and his legal team did not show up to discuss the bill in committee. KMOX has reached out to a representative for comment.
The search continues for at least one more suspect following an overnight carjacking in the Metro East. Police agencies led by the St. Clair County Sheriff's Department followed after the car at speeds exceeding 100 miles an hour. Using spike strips, they were able to get the car to stop on a ramp to the Martin Luther King Bridge. 2 juveniles taken into custody, some guns confiscated. A police canine unit assisted with the traffic stop.
Some Metro East road work ahead.
We have more restrictions on 5570 that begin tonight. I'm Roger Brand. That's when they're going to shut down the westbound lanes of 5570 between 159 and 157, just like they did the eastbound side for the next 2.5 weeks, 17 days. The westbound will be closed. So the detour is the opposite of last time. Take 270 westbound to 255 southbound to get around that westbound interstate closure.
A new bill signed into law by Governor Mike Kehoe opens the possibility of St. Louis creating a new entertainment district downtown. Kehoe says the purpose of the district would be to create a public-private partnership to enhance safety and promote tourism.
They can market the area much better under this bill. They can work with post-certified law enforcement officers as well.
However, the bill does not establish the district itself. He says that has to be done by the city.
Pope Leo XIV reaches out to former St. Louis Archbishop Cardinal Raymond Burke to thank him for his decades of dedicated service to the church as the cardinal observes the 50th anniversary of his ordination. KMOX religion editor Fred Bottomer reports.
During the Pope Francis years, Cardinal Burke fell out of favor with some in the Vatican for his outspoken opposition to many of the more progressive pontiff's positions. But now, the new Pope, Pope Leo, has reached back out to the cardinal and sent him a personal letter honoring him. The letter was shared by Cardinal Burke earlier this week in a posting on X. In it, Pope Leo thanked the cardinal for his contributions to the church and his dedication to the gospel, as well as praising him for what the current pontiff called the earnest care Cardinal Burke demonstrated, most especially for the law, which the new pope said has also been of good service to the offices of the Holy See. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
It is 7:08, and we're going to check traffic and weather next. This is Total Information AM.
Cardinal Cowboy here. After proving the doctors wrong following my accident, I got back to baseball, started kicking field goals, and finally got paid as a pro kicker and ultimately became a leader in the marketing world. That's why I trust Renner Garage Door, exceeding expectations for over 65 years. They service, sell, and install top brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster. Get your free quote today. Check them out at RennerDoorSTL.com. Renner, forward and back. Giddy up!
RENNER, RENNER.
Many of you know that my inspiration for becoming an accident attorney was my brother Tim, who was rendered a quadriplegic at age 18. I didn't know what a personal injury lawyer was or what they did, but I soon did. Tim was treated terribly by the insurance company, and I became enraged. It was a constant delay and deny. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Tim later worked with me for 27 years. Last year, my hero died at age 65. You can see my eulogy for him by visiting mybrothertim.com. He was one hell of a man. Because of Tim, together we built the largest injury firm in the world, and our clients are treated the way I would want my family to be treated. At Morgan & Morgan, nobody is a nobody and everybody is a somebody. If you need our help, visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer. See you soon, Tim. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler for 213 Complex, which is available at supplement superstores. Look, 213 Complex is the most effective and powerful all-natural weight loss supplement ever developed, and here's why. It optimizes thyroid function, and it boosts your metabolism 24 hours a day, while you're sleeping too. So you're burning more stored body fat. Also getting that appetite and craving control that I love. You get all-day focused energy with no jitters, so all you need to do is get out to supplement superstores, tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you in. They'll knock 30% off 213 Complex. Find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
It is 7:10. Let's see what the morning's been like out there on the roads with Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, if you have to work this morning, you got to love the drive-in, Megan. It really has not been bad at all anywhere. Save we had that one early problem in the right around 6 o'clock this morning on the Poplar Street Bridge. Didn't last long, and the traffic thinned out, and it's never backed up since. All these highways look great. Southbound 61 coming out of Wentzville into 64 or 70. Everything looks fine there. 70 out around Forestell. They postponed that road work, the median work. They're going to start that Monday during the overnight hours instead of starting at, I think it was supposed to start Wednesday night, Thursday morning. So things are still okay there. 55 in the work zones we've got set up, like at McNutt and north of Bayless. No delays. Downtown, we're still okay. Westbound across the Poplar and Museo Veterans Bridges, the emergency repair work still ongoing. I don't have it all clear from out there yet. It's supposed to be wrapped up by 3:30 this afternoon, that emergency repair work. Westbound 64 west of Route 4 is still not bothering anybody there. Of course, Route 4, we have the restrictions north of Fayetteville. There was backed up traffic in that area, but that's to be expected. And a little heads up about weekend road work. We're going to have a closure of the ramp northbound 170 on the westbound 279 tonight to Friday of Monday morning this weekend and next weekend as well. Next update at 7:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sunshine will mix with clouds today. It's going to be a very hot, humid day, the hottest day of the bunch, with a thunderstorm in the area this afternoon. The high 96, accurate, the real field temperatures between 100 and 105. Partly to mostly cloudy, warm and muggy tonight. A couple of rounds of thunderstorms roll through, the low 75. More clouds than sun tomorrow. Very warm but humid. Look for a thunderstorm or two in the afternoon. There could be some downpours, hail, or damaging wind gusts with any thunderstorm. The high tomorrow, 88. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now, we've got partly sunny skies and 75 degrees downtown.
I'm Joe Pott. I've got highlights from a Cards Series win against the Nationals coming up in sports.
It's now 7:12. Some area cities are trying to stop solicitors from knocking at your door.
Long gone are the days of men dressed in nice suits, lugging around heavy books, boldly knocking at your front door.
Are you the decision maker of the house?
Hoping you want to learn something from those books for a nice fat price, like what happened to Joey on the 90s sitcom Friends.
Do you currently own a set of encyclopedias? No.
These days, you might get hit up by a roofing guy or someone wanting to upgrade your gutters. Cities like Fenton have a list, sort of like a no-call list, where city residents can join and no longer be bothered by door-to-door salesmen. Fenton City Clerk Jane Hungler.
We maintain a list of people, city residents, that have signed up to have a no-visit list for any solicitors, canvassers, peddlers that they do not want, refusing permission to have these people enter their property.
Hungler says in the city of Fenton, canvassers, solicitors, peddlers have to have a permit to go door to door, and they get a copy of that no-visit list to know where not to knock.
Okay, I get the picture. Thanks for your time.
Cities of Arnold, Town and Country, Lake St. Louis have similar ordinances on the books. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
It was 30 years ago the world learned of the massacre of more than 8,000 Bosnian men and boys at Srebrenica. This week, the Bosnian community, including 16 local organizations, have been commemorating it through public events. Tomorrow, there's a 1-mile march of remembrance and commemoration at Soldiers Memorial. Elvir Ahmetovic is now a teacher in the Normandy district.
I survived the siege of Srebrenica for 3.5 years. And in 1995, when Srebrenica fell to the Serb forces, I was 14 years old. So I was transported with the civilian population, women and children, to another town in Bosnia, which was under the control of the Bosnian army. I survived the siege and the genocide and the fall of Srebrenica.
But Elvir lost his sister, his uncle, and his grandfather. Nadim Remic says it's important that people don't forget.
This could happen again because this is the darkest chapters in modern European history. There's Srebrenica genocide, and it just happened 30 years ago, not 100 years ago.
Missouri has released its first report about the state's veteran suicide rate.
According to the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, about 171 Missouri veterans died by suicide in 2022 and 23. The State Veterans Commission's new report says that rate is higher than the national veteran suicide rate. Key findings in the 9-page report say contributors to Missouri's rate include the ongoing battle with stigma surrounding mental health struggles. Elisa Nelson, Missouri Net.
Cards and Nationals last night at Busch. Redbirds looking to win a series from the Nats. Back-to-back hits in the first inning starts the inning, and Alec Burleson comes to the plate for the Cards.
The 3-2 pitch for Burleson. Ground ball to the shortstop. That gets a run in. Abrams throws out Burleson. Donovan crosses the plate. Wynn goes to third. 1-0 Cardinals with Wilson Contreras coming up.
In the third inning, Brendan Donovan singles. He moves up on a wild pitch, and Burleson's got another opportunity.
The 2-2 pitch is hit hard in the left center field. That's a hit. Donovan rounds third base. He's going to score. And Burleson, with a single, a hard hit single to left center, has both RBIs in this game so far. It's 2-0 St. Louis.
And it was 2-0 still. Bottom of the sixth inning when the Cards break it open. Wilson Contreras and Lars Nootbaar open the inning with hits ahead of Nolan Arenado.
The pitch on the way is swung on, and that is stroked past the first baseman low into right field. 1-run score, stopping at third, Nootbaar. It's an RBI single scoring Wilson Contreras as Nolan Arenado drives in his 42nd run. 3-0 St. Louis in the sixth.
Nolan Gorman walks. That loads the bases for Joel Pozo.
Let's check out his two-strike approach. He swings and hits it sharply off the glove of Abrams into left field. That scores another run. Abrams was trying to backhand the ball and start a double play, but the ball got past him, and the Cardinals have added on, leading 4-0.
Victor Scott brings home a run with a force out. Brendan Donovan makes it 6-0 with a sac fly. Victor Scott goes to second on a stolen base, and he's there for Mason Wynn.
The 3-2. Grounded down the right field line. A hit for Mason Wynn. That's going to score. Victor Scott the second, and Wynn has a double. 7-0 Cardinals. That's the second double for Mason tonight and his 19th of the year.
5 runs in the sixth inning for the Cards. We go to the bottom of the seventh inning. The Cardinals add on thanks to a leadoff long drive from Wilson Contreras.
It was a very nice display. There's a hard hit ball, deep center field. Backing up is Young, and it's over his head and over the wall. A big fly for Wilson Contreras, leading off the bottom of the seventh, and the Cardinals add another. It's now 8-0 Cardinals.
Well, the Nationals would get one against the Cards bullpen in the eighth, but the Cards win this one 8-1, and they take this series from Washington, winning 2 of 3. Donovan, Wynn, Contreras all have 2 hits in the game. Miles Michaelis tosses 5 2/3 scoreless innings in the win. Cards are 5.5 games out of first, 1 game back of the National League wildcard spot. Tonight, it's Matthew Liberatore for the Cards as the Braves come to town. That begins the final series ahead of the All-Star break. Liberatore is 6-6 with a 3.7 ERA, and he's made 3 appearances, 2 starts in his career against Atlanta, and he has not allowed a run in 11 1/3 innings. He's our player to bank on. It's brought to you by Community America Credit Union, invested in you. First pitch tonight is 7:15 at Busch Stadium. Next sports update comes up at 7:45. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Your home for St. Louis Cardinals baseball, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Now the news at 1, the fun. It's the Dave Glover Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 7:20. This is 104.1 FM KMOX. Total Information AM continues. Debbie Monterrey, Megan Lynch, and Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we're still zipping along out there, Debbie. I still don't really see much in the way of, really nothing in the way of concerns. Southbound 61, eastbound 64 and 70 coming out of Wentzville look good. I do see a little bit of a slowdown now on northbound 55, the Loughborough, Virginia area. Just a slowdown, not a jam. Still looks good down south at McNutt and from Bayless up to River to Pear. Just a little busy north of there. Downtown, we're still okay. Westbound across the Poplar, Musel Veterans Bridge looks good. North 270, again, that right lane closure. The emergency closure they had at 44 still not bothering anybody there. The emergency repair work, though, is starting to slow you down on westbound 64 from Route 4 to a point west of there. It's not quite midway into 158, but pretty close. So there are delays. Not a jam, but it is getting heavier and a slowdown there now on the Illinois side. Next update at 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And the weather is sponsored by the International Hot Rod Association. We've got sunshine mixing with clouds today. It's going to be hot and humid. We could see a thunderstorm around this afternoon. You should expect that high to be 96, but it may feel like it's up to 100 or even 105 due to the real feels. For tonight, partly cloudy, warm, humid, a couple of rounds of thunderstorms, a low of 75. And then tomorrow, another mix of clouds and sun, warm, humid, thunderstorms possible with a high of 88. Currently sunny skies, 76 degrees downtown at the Arch. The International Hot Rod Association Outlaw Nitro Series is back. 5 events, 4 locations, 1 explosive season. Top fuel, funny cars, pro mods, and you in the stands. Nitro Nation. Get your tickets now at ihra.com. That's ihra.com.
It is 7:21 and the news continues. U.S. Health Secretary RFK Jr. considering new guidelines for a proper diet that could impact what's taught in schools.
The guidelines that once gave us the food pyramid and now give us a picture of a plate to teach us how to eat a healthy diet are revamped every 5 years. RFK Jr. is promising a shorter 4-page summary for Americans to better understand good nutrition. Michelle Wilson, a registered dietitian with Brands Nutrition, says one of her concerns is who might teach the information to school kids.
Now, unfortunately, the people that were providing this information were teachers, and they were just given a little curriculum, but it was being presented in a way that caused a little bit of like black and white thinking with food and caused a little bit of fear around certain foods for some kids and could even lead to eating disorders.
Wilson tells KMOX another concern is who is being consulted and what data is being used for the new nutritional guidelines. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
It's one of the toughest challenges for cities and towns across America, fully staffing their fire departments. CBS News reporter Christopher Cruz tells us about a community that has the same number of firefighters it had 20 years ago, but triple the number of calls.
Southfield, Michigan in suburban Detroit is growing rapidly, but the number of firefighters in the city is not. Lieutenant James Tack Jr.
Our population is exploding. Our business is huge.
more people would help us provide better service to our residents and visitors.
With a population of 75,000, Southfield has 105 firefighters. When TAC was hired in 2005, the fire department was getting about 6,000 calls a year. Now, with the same number of firefighters, it's getting 20,000 calls. CBS News Detroit found that Michigan has about half the number of career firefighters as neighboring states. Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
In the latest Eye on America feature, CBS News national environmental correspondent David Schechter takes a look at changing logging practices in the West and how some officials hope they'll cut down on forest fires.
We're in the Emerald Mountains of Oregon's Willamette National Forest.
This is my backyard and my home, and I don't want to see it burn.
It's where Jeff Brink on the left works the same land his father used to. Brink's job is to reopen roads by removing trees burned in mega forest fires.
Those are hazards to the public.
The larger hazard he'd like the country to address is not just the roads, but the fires themselves. Doing that, he says, requires the regular thinning out of green, healthy trees so there's less fuel to burn.
We're not talking about, logging, let's get some wood moving. We're talking about proactive fuels management, and that can be done in a sustainable and environmentally friendly way.
Tree thinning, though, rarely happens here, in part because of legal protections for endangered species and habitats. That was swept away in March by the Trump administration. It ordered an immediate expansion of American timber production, instructing federal agencies to disregard regulations where possible. The goal is to increase logging by 25% on federal lands.
So we got somewhere around 40 loads out today.
The policy would cut America's reliance on imported timber, generating new work and higher profits for people such as Brink and the rest of the struggling timber industry. It would also reduce fire risk by removing more trees.
Incredible, enormous trees.
The scale is remarkable.
Quinn Reed is the executive director of the nonprofit Oregon Wild.
These trees have seen a lot.
She doesn't dispute the importance of careful thinning, but says the size and speed of Trump's plan will destroy the forest.
I think the justifications, if they were true, are certainly worthy. But if you look at what's actually being called for, it doesn't meet any of those goals. This is the kind of logging that's simply for profit.
And now that the Trump administration has fired 10% of the U.S. Forest Service workforce, Reed says there are not enough people to enforce careful cutting.
This used to be a forest, much like we just saw just a few moments ago.
So some of this is acceptable or none of this is acceptable?
None of this is acceptable. They had a quota to meet, and so they came and they clear cut it. This isn't what I want to see on the landscape. This isn't what I want to see on lands that we all collectively as Americans own.
Do you see a possible risk that those clear cuts would happen in the forests with fewer staffers and fewer regulations?
I certainly don't want to see it, and every stakeholder here that I've talked to doesn't want it either.
For some, the president's order is a long overdue push toward responsible logging and fire reduction. Others would argue you can't save the forest by cutting it down. For Eye on America, I'm David Schechter in Oak Ridge, Oregon.
It's 7:26. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Life is challenging and ever-changing. Take control with passive income through real estate investing. Learn how, learn now. Let Del Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited's investors and mentors show you. Meet Del's team and get educated now at Lifestyles Unlimited. Text the word radio to 88007. That's radio to 88007. Join for just $297. Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007. That's radio to 88007.
Hi, I'm Andrew Suntrup. For over 30 years, St. Louis and St. Charles families have trusted Suntrup Buick GMC. As a proud family-owned dealership, we offer more than just great deals. We offer peace of mind. At Suntrup Buick GMC, you'll always find a huge selection of inventory to choose from, unmatched customer service, and every vehicle comes with our exclusive lifetime powertrain protection program. Visit in store or online at suntrupbuickgmc.com. Save more at Suntrup Buick GMC.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-536-9607. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-536-9607 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-536-9607 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-536-9607.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley telling you about i3 Broadband. You've heard me talk about them. They provide the internet in my home. I love them so much. The reliability is great. Let's talk about price for a moment, though. They've got an introductory rate at $19.99 a month for one of their service options. No bundle ever required. You're going to save $10 a month over the cable company. They've got great pricing on all of their different packages, going up to 8 gigs upload and download speed, always mirrored. See if they're available in your neighborhood. Put your address in at i3broadband.com.
Who's been talking about St. Louis sports since 1985? Bernie Miklasz.
Ollie Marmol gets ripped a lot. Some of it is justified. Some of it is not justified. A lot of it is really naive because you assume the manager has this all-powerful, superhuman authority over everything. People can rip Ollie Marmol all they want. I will be fair about it. So if you don't like that, I don't care.
Bernie Miklasz on the voice of the St. Louis Cardinals. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Sunny skies, 76 degrees downtown at the Arch at 7:30. I'm Megan Lynch.
I'm Debbie Monterrey, and this is Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we're seeing a little more volume out there, but it's still a pretty good run for everybody on this Friday morning, Debbie and Megan. If you're on northbound 55, still looks great from Festus all the way to the city of St. Louis, northbound 270 up through 44, where you have that lane restriction in the work zone, still fine. Eastbound 70 coming off 61. Or 64 coming off 61, really. Both of them coming out of Wentzville look great. Looks like we have some trouble downtown, though. If you're headed in on eastbound 44, as you get past the Arch grounds, eastbound 44, headed out onto westbound Highway 70, it looks like we have an incident there. Looks like maybe a crash. They just cleared over to the right shoulder, right near the Musel Veterans Bridge. So there's a jam back to the Arch grounds. And then on the other side, we have some this roadwork delay, westbound 64, Route 4, for about a half mile west of there. That emergency repair work has a lane shut down. Next update is 7:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And checking that forecast for today, we'll have sunshine, a few clouds. It'll be hot and humid with a thunderstorm around this afternoon. Expect a high near 96 with real feels up to 105 degrees this afternoon. Partly cloudy, warm and humid tonight. A couple of rounds of thunderstorms. We're expecting a low of 75. Right now, we have sunny skies, 77 degrees in Florissant. It's 75 in St. Peters, 76 degrees downtown at the Arch. In KMOX News, St. Louis City Police are hoping people will look at their social media postings and help them identify a man seen throwing lit fireworks at crowds over the 4th of July weekend. Photos are posted. Officers say incidents show the suspect near the Wheelhouse and also on Washington Avenue. In another, he's a passenger in a car and throws a firework out the window at an intersection. The department's bomb and arson unit is investigating. Police also want to speak with anyone injured by the man's activity.
A bill to codify the job of the St. Louis City Sheriff goes before an aldermanic committee.
Sheriff Alfred Montgomery nor his legal team showed up to weigh in on the bill, which would dictate the core duties of his job. The day before the hearing, his attorney, David Mason, says it is his opinion this bill has no legal standing.
It's not a legal move that they can do. It's not something that they have the authority to do.
However, the bill's sponsor, Alderman Matt Devotie, testified the city councilor's office says the city does have this authority.
In his opinion, this particular board bill does comply with Missouri law.
Devotie says he understands the sheriff not showing up, citing the attorney general's effort to remove him from office. The bill was held in committee due to an amendment giving the comptroller oversight of the sheriff department's spending not being approved. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
KMOX reached out to a spokesperson for Sheriff Montgomery's office for comment, but we are still awaiting response.
Rock community firefighter Elaine Carl has just published a second book about a little girl who learns what it takes to be a firefighter. It's called Indy Becomes an Engineer and is all about driving a fire truck and learning to use the pump. Her first book, which she wrote, illustrated, and self-published, is called Yeah, I Can Do That. Carl was a teacher for 12 years before she decided to become a firefighter.
My goal is to have little kids see it at a much younger age and realize what a great career it is. And it's nice too to have little kids go, oh, I didn't know, females did this. And it's a good thing to be out there. And so to see it in a picture book too, even if they don't see me on a call, that yeah, women can do this.
The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. We're going to get a look at your money report from Bloomberg coming up after the break. Stay with us on Total Information AM.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-408-4040. That's 800-408-4040. 800-408-4040.
7:35. This Bloomberg Your Money Report is sponsored by Busey Bank.
Good morning. Mortgage rates have risen for the first time in 6 weeks. According to Freddie Mac, the average for a 30-year fixed loan is 6.72%. A bump in listings has given house hunters more choices and greater negotiating power, but prices remain high, and uncertainty over the economy is weighing on consumer confidence. Tesla is plotting an expansion, planning to bring its driverless taxis to California and Arizona. CEO Elon Musk predicting on his social media platform X that the company's robo-taxis could launch in the San Francisco Bay Area in about a month or two. The company has contacted the Arizona Department of Transportation to begin the certification process and get ready for more Apple products. Bloomberg has learned that the iPhone maker is planning to release an assortment of new devices during the first half of next year. Some of the items include a new low-end iPhone, upgrades to Apple's entry-level tablet and iPad Air, as well as an external Mac monitor. With your Bloomberg Money Report, I'm Kimberly Adams on the voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM KMOX.
This is the Our Idea is Ready to Launch vision. This is the Create Great Jobs vision. This is the We Need More Space vision. This is Busey, where your business visions become realizations. Through securing capital for growth and comprehensive strategies that ensure a prosperous future. Because thriving businesses mean thriving people and thriving communities. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-885-9700. 800-885-9700. That's 800-885-9700.
Create the ultimate raised bed garden with St. Louis Composting. Our premium compost and soil mixes are perfect for filling the raised beds you'll enjoy building, and even better for growing fresh, homegrown veggies. Imagine harvesting your own tomatoes, peppers, and cilantro for fresh salsa the whole family can enjoy. And with delivery right to your door, getting started has never been easier. Visit stlcompost.com to order a convenient delivery from your phone in seconds, or stop by one of our 9 locations in the St. Louis area. St. Louis Composting, growing gardens and making memories.
At California Psychics, we know that sometimes you can wake up thinking,
I don't know if I'm in the right career, or the right relationship.
but whatever your life dilemma, at California Psychics, we'll give you the guidance you need to feel certain about your life choices. And because we only connect you with the very best, we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
Cards manager Ollie Marmol joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
You're back with Total Information AM. We've got traffic and weather coming up. First in the news, President Donald Trump visiting Texas today to assess catastrophic flooding that has killed at least 120 people. Despite his past calls to phase out the Federal Emergency Management Agency, Mr. Trump has praised the federal response to the disaster. He plans to tour affected areas by air, meet first responders, and speak with victims' families. The administration has shifted focus from reducing federal disaster management to addressing the tragedy's human impact.
Customers of one major insurance company will have to dig a little deeper for their insurance premiums. WBBM's Rob Hart has more.
Bloomington-based State Farm is set to raise homeowners insurance rates in Illinois by 27.2% beginning August 15th. In a filing with the state last month, State Farm said the increase is due to catastrophic losses related to extreme weather events. Illinois policyholders pay an average of $2,700 a year for homeowners insurance. A Lending Tree survey says that's 22nd in the nation. Cranes reports the impending rate increase would add about $746 a year for homeowners who have State Farm insurance. Northbrook-based Allstate hiked their homeowners insurance rates by 14% last February.
7:40 now. Let's help you get around the backups. Roger Brand is watching out for you from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, thankfully there aren't too many of those, Megan. This traffic reports the service of Amon, Gantner, and Capriano. The only place that we've got a problem, per se, is really downtown on eastbound 44. It's jammed approaching the Poplar out to about the usual Veterans Bridge. That crash blocking the right lane. A Good Samaritan, I don't know if he's an emergency worker or what, but he's all dressed in like an orange jumpsuit, yellow jumpsuit, and he's blocking the right lane. Police just showing up now for this crash, but that's the only jam we have. Now, we do have some slow traffic eastbound on Highway 30, Mauer Industrial up to 270, but 270 itself at 44 in Ladue looks good. 55 looks great coming up from down south. And we do have a bit of a roadwork delay westbound 64 passing Route 4 that, due to that emergency repair work. Next update is 7:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Brought to you by Amon, Gantner, and Capriano, YourEstateMatters.com. Hi, Margaret at Amon, Gantner, and Capriano. We all have one thing in common. We're all going to die. Do you have an estate plan? Amon, Gantner, and Capriano, YourEstateMatters.com. The choice of an attorney is an important decision that should not be based solely on advertising.
Let's get a check of that forecast. It is going to be really hot today. We get all the details from AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg.
Yeah, today's the hottest day of the bunch, Debbie. We're expecting highs to reach 96 with sunshine and some clouds. Some places will get a thunderstorm this afternoon to kind of cut into the heat a little bit, but it's just going to be a pretty brutal day no matter how you slice it, the high 96. Thankfully, it's the hottest that we see going forward. But unfortunately, the pattern is going to be unsettled going forward. A round or two of thunderstorms tonight and a threat for some severe weather. The overnight low about 75. Tomorrow, clouds, some sun, very warm and humid, but not hot. with a thunderstorm or two. Best chance in the afternoon, which could be strong to severe with downpours, hail, and damaging wind gusts, the high 88. Sunday, more clouds and sun. Still a risk for a thunderstorm, especially for the afternoon, the high 86. Some sunshine Monday, very warm and humid. Could be an afternoon thunderstorm, the high 89. And pretty much the same Tuesday, partly sunny, hot, humid, maybe an afternoon thunderstorm, the high in the low 90s. Right now, it's already 76 in St. Peter's, 78 in Florissant. A lot of sunshine and 79 downtown at the Arch. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Cards got a big series win last night, and Miles Michaelis had a lot to do with it. We'll hear from him coming up in sports.
It's 7:43. The news continues now. Governor Mike Kehoe has signed a bill enabling creation of entertainment districts in downtown St. Louis.
Governor Kehoe says this bill will allow businesses to play a part in enhancing tourism and public safety.
That allows businesses to work with the municipalities, work with the law enforcement to really create a vibrant district in downtown St. Louis.
Kehoe says the entertainment district needs to be established by the city of St. Louis. He adds it could receive both private and public funds. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The Vatican chill may be over for a former St. Louis Archbishop, Cardinal Raymond Burke. We get the story from KMOX religion editor Fred Bottomer.
Cardinal Burke has long been one of the leading traditionalists in the Roman Catholic Church. In recent years, he's had some clashes with the more liberal Pope Francis. But now the new pontiff, Pope Leo XIV, has sent a personal letter to the cardinal to congratulate him on the 50th anniversary of his ordination. The letter was shared by Cardinal Burke earlier this week in a posting on X. In it, Pope Leo thanked the cardinal for his contributions to the church and his dedication to both the law and the gospel. In turn, Cardinal Burke wrote that he was very humbled by the letter and appealed to his followers to pray for the Pope, and finished by writing, "May God bless Pope Leo and grant him many years. Viva il Papa." Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
In Illinois news, federal prosecutors asking for a nearly 6-year prison term for former ComEd lobbyist Michael McLean, one of the so-called ComEd 4. Mike Krauser reports.
Prosecutors wrote in a 48-page sentencing filing, McLean's plan was illegal to its core, that his repeated overstepping of legal lines in the case is stunning. The former lobbyist and confidant of disgraced ex-House Speaker Michael Madigan was convicted of bribery conspiracy. Prosecutors said he arranged no-show jobs to curry favor with Madigan in exchange for the then Speaker's support of ComEd legislation. The Tribune reports McLean's attorneys are asking for probation, writing that he passed along a handful of job recommendations from Madigan. They wrote doing so was legal and constitutionally protected lobbying. The sentencing hearing for the 77-year-old McLean will take place on the 24th.
Baseball and basketball fans will be lining up for this ballpark giveaway.
Kobe Bryant, another three-pointer.
The Dodgers will give away Kobe bobbleheads when they host the Blue Jays August 8th. And, yep, Kobe was a hoop star. So why is his mini likeness wearing his number 24 jersey and holding a bat ready to swing? The look was inspired by Lakers Media Day in 2009 when the team had just won their 15th NBA title. Kobe, in full uniform, picked up a bat and smiled into the camera. Let's go, Lakers. Dodgers owner Mark Walter has reportedly cut a deal to purchase the Lakers for a whopping $10 billion. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Kobe bobbleheads will be given to the first 40,000 ticketed fans to show up for the Dodgers' August 8th game. It is 7:46, and this is Total Information AM.
Well, Cards finished off a series win of the Nationals last night at Busch. The offense was solid, scoring 8 times on 10 hits. Wilson Contreras added his 12th home run of the year. And our Game Day Men's Health peak performer, well, he's Miles Michaelis. Game Day Men's Health, get back to the top of your game. Michaelis turned in 5 2/3 scoreless innings. He allowed just 2 hits, and he struck out 6. Cards manager Oliver Marmol liked what he saw.
Had everything working, stayed out of the middle. To your point, I think retired 13 in a row or so. Just did a really nice job, man. A lot of comebackers, a lot of ground balls to first, a lot of soft contact. It was the changeup, especially against this lineup with as many lefties that are in there. Changeup was a really good pitch for him. Threw 12 of those, 11 for strikes. The sweeper was a good one. Used it appropriately. Got the punch out on Abrams with that. So I thought he mixed well enough to keep them off balance, and we needed it, man. We talked enough about it. We needed him to have a bounce back type of an outing, and that's exactly what he did.
Michaelis said he felt good, and that started in Chicago.
It felt pretty good. Like I said after last game, after that
after that third inning, I kind of figured out, what I was doing wrong, fixed it, went from there and just went out, pitched my game. Same thing today. Played some good, we had some good defense. Bats came alive there later in the game. Just a good overall team. I think it felt good for everybody.
Atlanta comes to town tonight. The Braves have dropped 8 of their last 10 games. First pitch is set for 7:15. St. Louis City is back at Energizer Park Sunday to face Portland, and the team could have a key piece back. Edvard Leuven, who hasn't appeared in a game since May, should be available, according to interim manager David Critchley.
I hope so. He trained towards the end of last week as well with us. This week, he came in the session fully. Didn't take a break in the games at the end, as you guys had saw. So we think his fitness is good enough now to come in for the weekend against Portland. He's a massive help for this team. His presence just in general, as a human being away from the field, but then his quality that he brings to the team, we all know what he can do with the ball. So we're looking forward to having him back in our roster for this weekend, yeah.
Kickoff Sunday is 6 o'clock. Pregame on our sister station, Y98, is set for 5:45. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Ready to make lake life a reality? With Anywhere Lombardo at Lake of the Ozarks, you can build a home designed just for you. Whether it's a cozy retreat or a luxurious lakeside escape, our custom designs bring your vision to life, set against stunning lake views and peaceful surroundings, the perfect balance of relaxation and adventure. With a trusted builder backed by long-standing vendor relationships, you'll enjoy cost savings and superior quality from start to finish. Start your dream home today with Anywhere Lombardo. Visit lombardohomes.com to learn more.
Experience the magic of the Fabulous Foxes 2025-2026 Broadway season, which includes the return of St. Louis favorite, The Phantom of the Opera, and the spellbinding spectacular Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. And right now, KMOX has your chance to win a pair of season tickets for the 2025-2026 season. Prize package includes a pair of tickets for all 8 shows in the subscription package. Register now online at KMOX.com/contests for your chance to win.
Total Information AM. The news continues on 104.1 FM KMOX.
7:50. Let's see how things are moving on the roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, the only trouble spot we have, Megan, is downtown, and now just this center lane is open. I've been watching MoDOT. They're in the left lane. They've been picking up debris and throwing it across the highway to the shoulder. So I guess that's why they have the left lane blocked. So only center lane's open. By the way, this is downtown. This is eastbound 44, just before you get to the Musial Veterans Bridge. Eastbound 44 is backed up past the Poplar Street Bridge, not impacting the Poplar as of yet, but it may if they stay out there much longer. Other than that, on the Illinois side, you've got a little bit of a roadwork delay, the emergency repair work. It's westbound 64 west of Route 4, not as bad as it was earlier. Seeing delays southbound on 158 at Seibert. In that same general vicinity, and also, of course, Route 4 north of Fayetteville. You've got roadwork restrictions there. Other than that, the highways have been doing all right. We just have a little slow traffic westbound 64 coming through Clayton, Skinker, Big Bend area, and eastbound through the Big Bend Bellevue stretch. Just looks a little busy at this time as well. Next update at 7:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It is going to be really hot today. Today is the hottest day of this 5-day forecast. We'll be at 96 degrees. It's going to feel as hot as 105. So sunny and humid with maybe a thunderstorm around this afternoon, a couple rounds of storms tonight. And then tomorrow we could see a couple of heavy thunderstorms in the afternoon, maybe some hail and damaging wind gusts as well. Right now, though, it's partly sunny and 75 degrees.
Next time somebody says, St. Louis. What's St. Louis got?
It's that time of week where Scott Jagow joins us, and we try to guess where he's been roaming. And you, of course, should play along at home with me and Joe Pott and Megan Lynch. Hi, Scott.
Good morning. Good to be here.
What do you think are our odds today?
I don't think they're that bad. At least the kind of business it is, probably.
Okay.
It's fun. So we'll start with this clue. The obvious question is, what the heck is that?
What is it? My mind went to so many places. Oh, wait, where's Joe? I'm sorry, I need to turn your mic up. Are you there now?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Oh,
I
sorry.
was starting to figure out if we were scanning groceries there at first.
For a minute, yeah. And then I thought, is it a Zamboni? Is it a, I don't know, an escalator?
Okay. We'll get back to that.
All right.
Been growing
the wholesale, the retail, the online business as well. So we have wholesale partners all over the country. We have a lot of partners in about a 90-mile radius of here. We partner with Schnucks and Dierbergs and Whole Foods and Straub's, all of those brands that people are also familiar with.
Well, those are grocery stores.
Yeah, we
Okay.
So the word grocery was
There you
not
go.
far off.
Okay.
Mhm.
It's something that you can find in a grocery store. Obviously, that's not narrowing it down very much. We'll keep going.
We believe that fair trade barely gets the growers enough money to basically live off of. And so we are paying above that so that they have money to actually invest back into their farms as well. So it's really important for us that people kind of understand that this good energy that we put out really goes across the entire supply chain.
All right. Well, that narrows it down a little bit because we're talking about growers and you mentioned farmers.
Right. Okay. And
the
fair trade.
And the term good energy is very important here.
Okay. Good energy.
Yeah.
Good
Well,
energy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Growers, good energy.
Mm-hmm. And something you find in grocery stores.
Okay.
It was like peach honey, papaya, Riesling wine, pink lemonade.
Really?
So a lot of really interesting tasting notes in that, especially in this Secret Stash line. We want people to really be blown away by the flavors that they're tasting. And we love it when people are like, oh my gosh, I did taste peach honey, or I did taste papaya, or whatever that may be.
I was going to say coffee, but now I don't know.
You were going to say coffee?
Grapes? I don't know.
Why were you going to say coffee?
I don't know. It just sounded like maybe a coffee, fair trade, I think coffee.
That was a good term to catch on to.
Yeah. And then, I don't know, do you taste notes of fruit? I guess you could taste notes of fruit in a coffee bean.
It's pretty, yeah, you can. You can. You're definitely on the right track.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go one more.
Good, I can't say the word, SH, on energy. So that is what we stand for. And it really is about, for us, putting out that energy and getting back that energy. And it starts with the energy and the relationships that we have with our farmers and our growers.
The name of the company
is Good Energy.
Plus something else.
Bad word.
Yeah. And it.
Poop emoji.
Exactly. And it goes together as one word.
Okay. But we can't say it.
Oh, we can say it.
Oh, you say it.
You want me to tell you the name of the company?
Yes.
But you are on coffee is correct.
Okay.
It's based in Edwardsville.
Oh, very good. Goshen coffee?
Ding, 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 ding,
Oh.
ding, ding.
All right.
Told you
Okay.
I
Give us
had
a bell, Megan. You give us a bell.
sorry.
There we go.
Well, now I know what that stands for.
It does.
Because I was like, is it Goshen? Goshen? Is that a place?
No, it's Goshen, and they've been around since 2020. You know, right in the middle of the beginning of the pandemic. That's when they started. But thankfully, they had their first cafe had a drive-through window. That saved them.
Yeah, I bet.
Now they have 3 locations, one in Soulard, plus the original location, and one just opened in Glen Carbon.
Real nice location,
So,
Glen Carbon.
I have a bag of their coffee in my pantry
Megan
right now.
and Joe are close to that area, right? So I just went to the new one yesterday, the one in Glen Carbon. It's really nice. And that sound you heard was coffee beans being roasted, being put into packages and stuff like that. So I was at the roastery, which is in Edwardsville.
Awesome. And when will we hear more?
Sunday, 8:20 and 9:20 on Total Information AM weekend.
Okay. And that's Goshen. Now
Coffee.
we know. That is Scott Jagow roaming, and this is Total Information AM on KMOX.
Selling your car online sounds easy. Snap a few pics, list a price, then what? Wait weeks? Haggle with strangers? At Suntrip Ford, we actually make it easy to sell your car. Visit Suntrip Ford Kirkwood or Westport, and our expert appraisers will give you a fast, fair offer on the spot. Or skip the trip and get an instant quote at suntripford.com. No guesswork, no games, just the best price. Visit suntripford.com today. Get more at Suntrip Ford.
Son, and we can get more exercise, but the one thing we can't get more of is time. It's time to eliminate the one phrase that could be holding you back from reaching your retirement goals. I'll take care of it tomorrow. It's time to pick up the phone and make the call to Gary Goldberg and the team at Financial and Tax Strategies, 314-991-9005, or online at checkwithgary.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Centaurus Financial, Inc., an FFC registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Gary Goldberg, NPN number 918615.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Let's get a quick update on the roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, the only jam we have, Megan, is downtown, eastbound 44. Only the right lane blocked now by this crash, eastbound 44, just before the Muswell Veterans Bridge. Traffic jam back past the Poplar. Next update at 8:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It is Friday, July 11th. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
You might be on the no-call list, but what about the no-visit list?
Good afternoon. Are you the decision maker of the House?
I'm Stuart McMillan, and I'll explain.
I'm Megan Lynch. An overnight high-speed chase in St. Clair County results in the arrest of some juvenile carjacking suspects, the latest after CBS News.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Sun mixing with clouds today. It's going to get very hot and humid with a thunderstorm in the area this afternoon, the high 96.
Coming up, we've got CBS News next, and they are gearing up for more layoffs, this time at the State Department. At the Tone, it's 8 o'clock in Mid-America.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. An immigration raid on a couple of pot farms in Southern California brought out hundreds of protesters who tried to stop agents from driving through fields and rounding up workers. Correspondent Camila Montoya Galvez.
What we know is that federal immigration agents at Customs and Border Protection and ICE together collectively raided this cannabis farm in Southern California that officials are now alleging was hiring and employing people who are in the country unlawfully and who are not legally authorized to work in the U.S.
The agents used smoke canisters and what appeared to be tear gas on demonstrators. President Trump flies to Central Texas today to see the devastation from last week's catastrophic flooding firsthand. CBS's Karen Hua is in Kerrville.
We know President Trump is set to land around noon local time, and he's going to be taking this aerial tour to survey the damage and see some of the hardest hit areas. He is set to meet with local officials who are going to brief him, as well as meet with some first responders and victims' families.
More than 120 people died. About 170 are still missing. The president has made a new threat in his on-again, off-again trade fight with Canada. He's told Prime Minister Carney he'll impose a 35% tariff on imports if they don't make a deal before August 1st. Still, Goldie Hyder at the Canadian Business Council says his country would probably not retaliate.
I think we have to be very careful to say to one country, tariffs are really bad, and then put them on your own citizens. So I would expect that to be a last resort. The strategy that seems to be pursuing is one of there will be no tariffs at the other end because Canada has a special case to make.
Police in Baltimore believe it was a bad batch of drugs that sent more than 24 people to the hospital. CBS News Baltimore's Janae Reese.
Officials have not confirmed what they exactly overdosed on, but people at the scene told WJZ it was called New Jack City, a substance allegedly laced with Freon or antifreeze, which is something that can poison people.
A surprise from Justin Bieber.
Never said love was easy.
He dropped his 7th studio album, Swag, at midnight. It features 21 songs. Many are personal. Love Was Easy, an apparent ode to his wife, Hailey Bieber. A collab with rapper Lil B is a tribute to their 10-month-old son, Jack Blues. Another therapy session is, well, exactly that.
You know, I have had to go through a lot of my struggles as a human, as all of us do, really publicly. And so people are always asking if I'm okay.
This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get renter's insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit progressive.com.
At 8:03, we have sunny skies and 80 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Friday, July 11th. I'm Megan Lynch. Some of the Rams settlement money will soon be used to help victims of May's tornado. KMOX asked, how will it be spent?
The city will divide 2/3 of the Rams settlement money they allocated into 6 categories. They include funding for case management and legal services, providing cooling through water stations and sprinklers, and repairs for and underinsured victims. Mayor Kara Spencer adds another fund is being dubbed Unmet Needs.
This includes some additional rental assistance for folks that are falling through the FEMA cracks, non-congregate temporary housing, and storage of personal belongings.
The city cannot duplicate FEMA's efforts, which is why they waited until now to announce these plans. The remaining nearly $10 million will be held to backfill any programs that run out of funding. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
An aldermanic committee has debated a bill that would put into law the St. Louis City Sheriff's official duties. However, the bill was not voted on because a key amendment giving the controller oversight of the Sheriff's Department's spending wasn't approved. Alderman Matt Devotie is sponsoring the bill and believes it's important.
Amendment 2 was necessary for the bill to withstand judicial scrutiny.
Devotie says he wants more time to discuss the amendment with the committee, but says its exclusion isn't a bill killer.
We want that in there. Does it kill it? No. But there's no rush.
Current Sheriff Alfred Montgomery and his legal team did not show up to discuss the bill in committee. KMOX has reached out for comment. The search continues for at least one more suspect following an overnight carjacking in the Metro East. Police agencies led by the St. Clair County Sheriff's Department followed after the car at speeds exceeding 100 miles an hour. By using spike strips, they were able to get the car to stop on a ramp to the Martin Luther King Bridge. 2 juveniles were taken into custody. Some guns were confiscated. A police canine unit assisted with that traffic stop. Some Metro East road work ahead.
We have more restrictions on 5570 that begin tonight. I'm Roger Brand. That's when they're going to shut down the westbound lanes of 5570 between 159 and 157, just like they did the eastbound side for the next 2.5 weeks, 17 days. The westbound will be closed. So the detour is the opposite of last time. Take 270 westbound to 255 southbound to get around that westbound interstate closure.
A new bill signed into law by Governor Mike Kehoe opens the possibility of St. Louis creating a new entertainment district downtown. Kehoe says the purpose of the district would be to create a private-public partnership to enhance safety and promote tourism. However, the bill doesn't establish the district. He says that has to be done by the city. Pope Leo XIV reaches out to former St. Louis Archbishop Cardinal Raymond Burke to thank him for his decades of dedicated service to the church. As the Cardinal observes the 50th anniversary of his ordination, KMOX religion editor Fred Bottomer reports.
During the Pope Francis years, Cardinal Burke fell out of favor with some in the Vatican for his outspoken opposition to many of the more progressive pontiff's positions. But now, the new Pope, Pope Leo, has reached back out to the Cardinal and sent him a personal letter honoring him. The letter was shared by Cardinal Burke earlier this week in a posting on X. In it, Pope Leo thanked the Cardinal for his contributions to the church and his dedication to the gospel, as well as praising him for what the current pontiff called the earnest care Cardinal Burke demonstrated, most especially for the law, which the new pope said has also been of good service to the offices of the Holy See. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
It's now 8:06. The NCAA committees for men's and women's Division I basketball discussed expanding the March Madness tournaments, but made no decisions. Options include keeping the tournaments at 68 teams or expanding to 72 or 76 teams by 2026 or 2027. NCAA President Charlie Baker has supported expansion, citing potential value and ongoing talks with TV partners CBS and Warner Brothers. Speculation suggests more at-large teams from major conferences could join, possibly reducing spots for smaller conference championships. It's easier than ever to get a game going in Illinois. Here's Rick Gregg.
Nationally, there's a shortage of qualified high school officials, but not in Illinois, where 12,000 people wore the badge this past school year, many from multiple sports.
We distributed over 20,000 licenses, so we're really at an all-time high.
Illinois High School Association Associate Executive Director Kurt Gibson says the state has recovered from a COVID-related dip.
We're excited about that, but we recognize that those newer officials into the space are the ones we need to keep active, keep involved, keep excited, keep enthused, so that they want to make officiating a little longer term kind of avocation in their life.
Gibson and the rest of the IHSA are welcoming over 600 referees to Normal this weekend for the state's annual Officials Conference. Clinics, training, awards to the Officials of the Year, all in the plans.
Hot, humid forecast coming up. It's 8:08.
An important message from S&L Coins. S&L Coins pays top dollar for your gold and silver coins, old currency, gold-filled jewelry, scrap gold and silver, silver plating, gold and silver bullion. Get a quote with a call to S&L at 544-3600. S&L Coins, 544-3600. Or visit S&L Coins at 9300 Gravois, just east of McKenzie. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 Saturday. Before you sell, call S&L 544-3600.
Cardinal Cowboy here. After proving the doctors wrong following my accident, I got back to baseball, started kicking field goals, and finally got paid as a pro kicker and ultimately became a leader in the marketing world. That's why I trust Renner Garage Door, exceeding expectations for over 65 years. They service, sell, and install top brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster. Get your free quote today. Check them out at RennerDoorSTL.com. Renner, forward and back. Giddy up!
RENNER, RENNER. Here's a few questions for you from California Psychics. Do your workdays seem to go on forever? Is your career progression as fast as downtown traffic? Or does your boss still not know your name?
Hey, you, Tina, Lisa, Sheila, whatever. Get that report to me by lunch, okay? It's Carrie, ma'am. Just get it done, Terry.
It's time to read the career warning signs and talk to California Psychics. We're always on hand to give you the career guidance you need. You see, we only connect you with the very best. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. So you could soon be telling your boss where to stick that report.
Where are you going, Terry? Terry!
Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
And KMOX News is sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station. Let's get a check on the roads now from Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we're still dealing with this crash downtown, Megan. They keep moving around. You know, originally the crash was in the right lane, then they showed up and blocked the left and right lane, then it was the two right lanes. Now it's just the right lane again. This is the one, the crash downtown we've been talking about on eastbound 44 just before you get to the Musial Veterans Bridge. Traffic's jammed back to about Park Avenue. On the south side of the Poplar there as you come into town on eastbound 44. So just have a little patience. Hopefully they'll get it wrapped up soon. But again, the right lane is still closed at this crash scene at this time. Other than that, the rest of the highways haven't been that bad this morning. There's still a little bit of a roadwork delay, a slowdown westbound 64 west of Route 4 where that emergency repair work is going on until mid-afternoon. And eastbound 64, the ramp to North 170 sort of heavy in the Richmond Heights area. But otherwise, the rest of these highways look good right now. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, sunshine mixing with clouds, very hot and humid. A thunderstorm around this afternoon, the high 96. AccuWeather real field temperature between 100 and 105. Partly cloudy, warm and humid tonight with a couple of rounds of thunderstorms overnight of 75. Clouds and some sun, very warm but humid tomorrow with a couple of thunderstorms likely, especially in the afternoon, any of which could produce downpours, hail, and damaging winds to high 88. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now we have sunny skies, 80 degrees downtown at the Arch. You're listening to Total Information AM here on 104.1 FM KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. Dozens of people at a rural Lincoln County nursing home trying to find a new care option with news in the last week that their nursing home is closing. All of the beds in the facility are Medicaid beds. Advocates say closures are becoming a trend. And in studio this morning, Marjorie Moore, Executive Director of Voice and Advocacy Group for Residents of Long-Term Care. Marjorie, thank you so much for being with me this morning.
Absolutely. Good morning.
So this is an issue that we've been talking about for a long time, but what are you seeing right now as far as trends?
Well, so since Northview Village closed back in December of 2023, so about a year and a half ago now, we've been seeing more and more facilities close. In fact, over the past 12 months, we've seen at least 10 facilities in Missouri close, and almost all of those really focused on caring for people who were on Medicaid.
How big of a funding source is Medicaid for most skilled nursing facilities?
So it's a pretty big one. So 70% of all nursing home stays, so skilled nursing stays in Missouri, are covered by Medicaid. So the way a lot of us think about it, it's a system for the poorest of the poor. However, when you get to the point where you're a nursing home, so many people go into skilled nursing paying for their care, often from the sale of a house or from their assets, what they've saved. But the fact of the matter is that only goes so far. And with long-term care being so expensive, many, many, many of us are going to end up on Medicaid before we're in the nursing home. So that's something for us all to be concerned about.
One of the things I feel like I hear from the facilities a lot is that the Medicaid reimbursement doesn't cover the actual cost of care. How accurate is that?
So that is, especially in Missouri, that can be really accurate. So it's kind of a balancing game. So Missouri is one of the lowest payers in the entire country for Medicaid. So that's a problem. One thing that we forget, though, too, is so residents who live in nursing homes and are paying with Medicaid are also paying any of their pension, any income that they would have coming in, their Social Security, goes to the facility as well. So on top of their Medicaid, and the resident gets to keep $50 a month in Missouri. So Medicaid's not the only thing that's paying for that stay, but that's going to vary by resident. And there are some residents that there will not be another source of income coming in for.
Now, are there some facilities that do limit Medicaid beds because of this?
Sure. And in fact, here in St. Louis, we have a couple of facilities that have no Medicaid beds. We have some facilities that have a limited number of Medicaid beds that they only provide to residents who have lived in the facility for a certain amount of time. And then, of course, we have a lot of facilities where every single bed in the facility is certified to be a Medicaid bed if the facility chooses to use it that way.
Now, of those closures that we mentioned at the very beginning of our talk, is this more of an urban issue or a rural issue?
It's everywhere. So we've seen facilities close here in St. Louis City, also, throughout the county. We've seen big facilities close in Hannibal, Zenith, Missouri, down in the Boot Heel, and now in Silex, which is a pretty rural community.
Now, when we look at these facilities, some of them I know have not had great scores for their level of care. So, I mean, it's kind of a balance. It's like, yeah, we need these facilities, but if they're not providing great care, then really it's not what we want. How do we put that in perspective?
Yeah, so I talked to somebody at the national group Consumer Voice a while back, and they said, the thing we really want to see is for us to get rid of the bad owners and not get rid of the people that live in those buildings, because a lot of times those buildings themselves are fine. It's just that the owners that have come in and purchased them have let them deteriorate. We've got some challenges throughout Missouri and throughout the country with some ownership groups coming in and pulling as much money out of the facility, reducing the amount of staff. So you already have almost no money to do this on, but they're pulling what they can out. And it becomes really problematic. And so we really want to make sure that residents are able to stay in their homes. And that's the most important thing to us.
What's the update on that facility in Silex and the really short notice that it seems like families were given to move their loved ones?
Yeah, so when a facility closes, by law, they're required to give families and staff and residents a 60-day notice. So that's the regulatory standard. But it's still not a lot of time to go and try to figure out where to move your loved one to. Now, the facility is required to help residents figure out where they're going to go next, provide options, help make that plan. Voice also steps in and helps residents. One of the things a lot of residents don't know is that they do have a choice on where they're going to go to. So they don't have to go where somebody tells them. But because there are fewer and fewer beds available, choices are more limited. So from what I understand, a lot of residents are still moving out, but they have until August 31st to move.
And I can imagine that for families, finding a quality facility that might be convenient for them might be difficult, especially in a rural area.
Yeah, in Lincoln County, there'll be 4 skilled nursing facilities left after Silex closes. So there aren't a lot of options, and actually a lot of. So one of those facilities, I think 2 of those facilities, actually took in several residents from a closure in 2023 as well. So, you see people kind of moving around, and that becomes really challenging then to find beds near you. And you look at families trying to make sure that their loved ones are taken care of, and moving 15 minutes further, it can be a real drain on families. That's an extra 30 minutes a day that family members who are caregivers probably in many other areas of their life are traveling more.
What are some solutions to this issue?
There are a lot. So, one of the things that we would like to see at Voice is, couple different things. We'd love to see more scrutiny of ownership, who can buy facilities. One of the things that we see often, and we don't know the exact details of what happened in this situation, but the facility was recently sold. And so one of the things that we would like to see is more scrutiny on when a facility is sold. Who's buying it? Is it a quality owner? Do they have a track record of doing this right? Because we have a lot of people buying facilities that have a track record of running facilities into the ground, and we don't want to see that more. I think that's one of the big ones. I think the other thing is to make sure that we're, as a state, auditing the Medicare cost or the Medicaid cost reports that have to be filed with the state by every facility on a regular basis. A lot of times they don't get looked at, and that's one way we can see where money's not going to the right place.
Great. Marjorie Moore is the executive director of Voice, a group that advocates for residents of long-term care. We appreciate you coming in studio this morning.
Great. Thanks so much.
Coming up on Total Information AM, we're going to tell you about a new law in Missouri that allows people to transfer many more credits from community college to a 4-year institution. That is just ahead. First, though, we need to get a check of the roads again with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, good news downtown, Megan. This traffic reports a service of Terrace Senior Living of Eureka. They cleared that crash finally, eastbound 44 right near the Musial Veterans Bridge. Now, there's still delays. If you're on eastbound 44, it's still bogged down just past 55 to the Arch Grounds at least, and then it starts picking up the pace. So there's still volume, but it's unwinding pretty quickly for you there. And that's the only real significant backup we have, at least on the Missouri side of the river. Things are pretty much light on the go for you in every other area. And on the Illinois side, things look great as well. There's just a little bit of a slowdown westbound 64 just west of Route 4, where we have that emergency repair work going on. Again, it should be wrapped up by about 3:30 this afternoon. Just looks a little busy South C70 right now through Olive, but no big deal. Nothing reported there at this time. Next update at 8:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And checking that forecast for today, hot and humid. We'll have mostly sunny skies, a few clouds popping in, and then we could have a thunderstorm around this afternoon. So expect your high today to be around 96. The real feels could reach 105 degrees. Right now we have sunshine, 81 degrees in Florissant, 78 in St. Peters, and 80 downtown at the Arch.
Check out the Terrace in Eureka for affordable senior living with 24-hour nursing supervision, delicious meals, medication management, and activities. The Terrace is affordable and will work with your Medicaid plan. Go to rspseniorliving.com and look for the Terrace Private Assisted Living.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
When my wife and I got married after both graduating law school, we didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. Ultima had to give me her gas card just to drive home. We never could have imagined that one day we would have the largest injury firm in the world and $25 billion in money collected and counting. As good Catholics, we had 4 children fast. They all work in the firm today. Our family protecting yours. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, but our greatest gift was years away, grandchildren. Today we have 6 and counting. It's the greatest joy that we have ever experienced. I think about them all day long. Our family promises to protect your family should you need us. Call us. It's easy. Visit forthepeople.com and make sure you hug your grandchildren. God's final gift to us. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
You're back with Total Information AM. I'm Megan Lynch. An education bill signed into law this week includes a provision that will help some community college students transfer to 4-year institutions. On the line, Dr. Jeff Pittman, Chancellor of St. Louis Community College. Dr. Pittman, thanks for being on this morning.
Thank you, Megan. It's great to be here.
Why is this legislation so important?
Well, it's really very transformative in a lot of ways, but since around 2018, students have been able to transfer 42 credit hours between community college and universities that receive state funding. This new law will add an additional 18 hours that'll transfer. So a full 60-hour associate degree program will now transfer to university. Students will be able to start at the junior year in these programs that are identified. So this is a great outcome for Missouri and community college students.
That's what I was going to ask you. How far does that go toward a 4-year degree? But that gets you 2 years in then.
Correct. Most university bachelor degrees are around 120 credit hours. So it gets them halfway there. It's a true 2+2 transfer agreement. So students can finish on time in 4 years in a lot of these programs. So, it's a great thing for them. This will also create a much more affordable pathway to a bachelor degree for our students.
I know decades ago when I transferred from a community college, I lost some credits and had to take some classes over. So it's a cost savings, I'm sure, for families as well. Now, I understand that only certain degree programs are covered under this.
Yeah, we're looking at business administration, elementary education or teacher education, general psychology, nursing, and general biology. And I'll just say this, Megan, this is a start. We'll be pursuing other programs as well in the future. But these 5 programs, again, which includes nursing, these are really high need, high vacancy rate programs where, for example, in nursing, we have almost 2,500 vacancies across the St. Louis region. Teachers are really hard to find these days, and a lot of it is the affordability issue for students to go through and get a teacher education degree. So we're going to be focusing on these high need programs going forward.
Dr. Pittman, do you think this actually encourages people to continue those next 2 years instead of maybe just stopping with their associate degree?
I think so. I think because of the affordability of community colleges and the high cost, if you try to take all 4 years at the university, this is going to be an attractive feature for a lot of folks.
Now, this is only state-run 4-year institutions that are required to do this by law?
That's correct. Yeah, it's only the public institutions required by law.
Do you know if there's any private institutions that also honor this or something close to it?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of the not-for-profit or private universities already do this with us. They accept all 60 hours.
All right, fantastic. And you've had a lot of expansion there on campus. What's the latest announcement of some of the facilities you have open?
Well, we had our open house for our new advanced manufacturing center yesterday up at Flow Valley, and in a couple of weeks we'll be opening our new transportation center at Forest Park that'll feature our automotive and diesel technology programs and our CDL truck driving program.
How much
So
demand
a
are?
lot of great things. I'm sorry.
No, I apologize. How much demand are you already seeing for those types of programs?
We're seeing a lot of demand. Our enrollment for summer was up 9%. We're about 15% up right now for fall. So a lot of interest by the community.
Dr. Pittman, thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Megan. Have a great day.
You too. That is Dr. Jeff Pittman, Chancellor of St. Louis Community College, joining us this morning here on KMOX. It's now 8:28. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
I've been telling you for years about Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, and for good reason, because she has eager buyers in waiting. She has upfront written guarantees. She is definitely the one that you should call. But there's something that you may not know. If you are selling your home, but you're also looking to buy, Gloria has featured listings and open houses for this weekend all over our area in your price range, including some amazing luxury properties. I'm talking incredible places that you won't find anywhere else. Gloria Liu has guaranteed sale programs to help make buying and selling easy. In fact, Gloria Liu invites you to reach out to her directly, whether you are buying or selling or both. And if you want to see any of these amazing homes with a private showing or an open house, it's as easy as calling 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or visit gloriahasthebuyers.com and click on the featured listings tab. Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
8:30, let's check the roads on this Friday morning. Roger Brand joins us from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center. How's it look out there now, Roger?
Well, just a few slowdowns out there really, Megan, right now. One of them is still downtown. Traffic's unwinding from the earlier crash. So if you're on eastbound 44 through the Arch Grounds out onto westbound 70, it's still just kind of slow through that area. Westbound 64 just west of Route 4 where that emergency repair work's going on. Again, there's a slowdown there. And southbound 270 is slow from Olive most of the way down to the eastbound 64 exit. So it's more so the right lanes the further south you get, obviously. And northbound 55 ramping onto North 270. That looks a little crowded right now as well. Otherwise, the rest of the area interstates for you on both sides of the river still look great. Next update at 8:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It's going to be sunny, hot, and humid today. We could have a thunderstorm this afternoon. Expect a high around 96. Right now, sunny, 80 downtown at the Arch. The Kirkwood Community Center has been undergoing significant renovation. Next on the list is the center's ice rink, which hosts hundreds of skaters and hockey players of all ages each week. City officials are looking at ways to boost revenue once that project is complete, including offering alcohol sales. So I sat down with Kirkwood Mayor Liz Gibbons at City Hall.
There's 3 phases to our Kirkwood Community Center, the renovations, and the first and second phases are almost complete. And they were redoing our gyms, redoing the entrance, redoing the meeting space on the second floor, second and third floor. Next will be the redo of our hockey rink. It has to do with our cooling system has an old way of cooling, which you can't get that coolant anymore. So we will be putting in the new way of cooling. And then we're going to be getting all new boards, and the rink will really be so much better than it is currently.
It looks fantastic in there. I can attest to that. We're in there quite a bit.
I'm curious, I noticed that the city is considering looking at allowing alcohol sales in that facility. What's the thought behind that?
This is a recommendation from our Citizen Finance Committee, which is a fabulous group of volunteer citizens that meet from September until December to go over all the finances of all the different departments. Last year in their report, they made a suggestion that we include beer sales, and it would be, what we're looking at is beer only sales at our hockey facility, at our concession stand there. The concession stand is not opened too much during the week. And this would not only be beer, but expand all the offerings at that concession facility.
Have you had anybody express any concern about that because of the large youth presence for sports there at the facility?
So far not, but this is brand new. We just had our council retreat about 2 weeks ago, and one of the council members asked that it be put on the agenda. So we had a discussion about it, and right now what we're doing is we're exploring what the financial outcome would be of this. I mean, one of the reasons that the Citizen Finance Committee suggested it was to increase profits from the facility. So our staff is looking at how it would operate, what it would cost, and what the financial implications would be. Again, this is for gearing up for the budget, and we will be finalizing that budget in March of 26.
Are there any other recreational facilities in Kirkwood that do offer alcohol sales?
Yes, at this time there is our new theater, the Kirkwood Performing Arts Theater, which is a fabulous facility if no one's seen it. We actually offer a full bar at that facility. Again, at the rink, we're talking about beer sales. And this is a fairly common thing from my understanding. Other rinks do offer this in our market. St. Peter's, Creve Coeur, Pacific, Afton are some of the ones that currently are offering.
What's it take to operate a facility like that? Ice rinks are a significant expense.
They really are. And that's obviously one of the reasons that we're looking at this, because one of the things that's happening with our city is that our expenditures really are going up with the cost of everything now, but the revenues are flat. And so this is why our Citizen Finance Committee suggested that we look at a way of increasing the amount of money that's coming into that facility.
That is Kirkwood Mayor Liz Gibbons on KMOX.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
If you're still waiting for a sign, here's another one. At California Psychics, we reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work for us. So we only connect you with the best. That's how we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is. Dramatic sound effect incoming. Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
8:36, time for your money report. It's sponsored by Eamon Gattner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys.
Good morning. President Trump's trade rhetoric is weighing on stocks this morning. Trump is threatening a 35% tariff on some Canadian goods to take effect from August 1st. The president also raised the prospect of increasing levies on most other countries. Moderna's shares jumped yesterday as much as 4% on news that its COVID shot was given the okay by the FDA for children 6 months to 11 years old, but only for those kids who have an increased risk of the disease. Parents who want their children without elevated COVID risk to get the vaccine will have to get them off-label. And Levi Strauss is raising its revenue outlook. The company expects sales growth to outweigh the effect of President Trump's tariffs. The latest results suggest that the efforts to branch into new areas like caps and aprons is paying off for the 501 jeans maker. On Wall Street, stocks closed higher. The Dow was up 192, the Nasdaq 19, and the S&P was up 17 points. With your Bloomberg Money Report, I'm Kimberly Adams on the Voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Concerned about where your retirement is heading? Is it on track to meet your needs and goals? Are taxes and inflation a constant worry? Well, you can join Jerry Means for What Retirement Means to You, powered by Means Financial Group, and find out how their team can help guide you to that retirement you've always dreamed of. Tune into What Retirement Means to You with Jerry Means, Saturdays at 3 on KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. More details at meansfinancialgroup.com.
Quiver River Electric Cooperative reminds you to always assume that a downline is energized and dangerous. Avoid going near it or anything in contact with the power line. Never drive over a down line or through water touching the line. Notify the local authorities immediately if you see a down line. To learn more, call us at 1-800-392-3709 or visit safeelectricity.org. A safety message from Quiver River Electric Cooperative.
Summer is here. Time to enjoy baseball, barbecues, and the shade of your trees. When it comes to tree care, call the certified arborist at Gamma Tree Experts. Hi, I'm Tim Gamma. Protect your valuable trees from storm damage or devastating insects such as the emerald ash borer. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. For pruning, spraying, fertilization, or removals, call Gamma Tree Experts today at 314-725-6159 or visit us at GammaTree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
Lifestyles Unlimited member Lisa appreciates having mentors who have her back.
Having the faith to move forward, and y'all have everything provided. I could call a mentor and say, hey, I don't know what to do. Someone is always there to guide you. I have backup.
Lifestyles Unlimited. Over 33 years teaching the real estate retirement roadmap. Text the word radio to 88007. That's radio to 88007. Join now for $297, a 60% savings. Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007.
When we started Neovitin back in 2009, we wanted to create a multivitamin that we would take ourselves. That's why we use quality ingredients in our Neovitin Original Formula multivitamin. With over 20 vitamins and minerals, along with our physician-formulated proprietary blend, you can be sure you are getting the highest quality daily nutritional support. Give Neovitin Original Formula multivitamin a try for yourself. Find it at your local Schnucks, Deerbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
For residential and commercial heating repairs, service, maintenance, or installation, contact Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation. With over 50 years of HVAC service, get in your comfort zone this winter. Visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Sunny skies, 80 degrees at 104.1 FM KMOX. Here's what's happening. A federal judge in New Hampshire has paused President Donald Trump's executive order ending birthright citizenship from taking effect anywhere in the United States. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney says Canada will keep working toward a new trade framework with the United States, despite President Trump saying he'll raise taxes on many imported goods from Canada to 35%. We have Hancock and Kelly next on KMOX. First, though, let's get a check of the roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we look great out there, Megan. The slowdown we had downtown eastbound 44 through the Arch Grounds is thinned out. South 270 is looking better. I'd still call it a little busy south of Olive, down to 64, but the rest of the highways are rolling along. We do have a little bit of a jam down south now. Roadworks going on northbound 55 south of McNutt. It's jammed from Highway A about midway up to McNutt. And the emergency repair work continues on westbound 64 west of Route 4. Delays from Route 4, slow going there. Again, that should be wrapped up by 3:30 this afternoon. I'm Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Time for the Friday edition of Hancock and Kelly.
You two belong together.
John Hancock, Michael Kelly on News Radio 1120 KMOX.
Happy Friday, John Hancock.
Back at you, big boy.
Hey,
good to be here.
Let me ask you something.
All right.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
He just retired. He had a final concert this past week. Did you see it?
I did not.
Did you see any of the little things saying that he was doing it?
No.
every heavy metaler in the world was there. You get the Metallica guys there. You had the Aerosmith guys. Everybody was there.
Was it just him or was it Black Sabbath?
It was Black Sabbath.
Oh.
They had their final performance, and I didn't know if that was kind of your genre.
I had the Paranoid album, which has got Iron Man and different things like that on it, and I liked it. It was not my favorite.
Yeah,
musically, it's not that interesting,
right?
To me.
Yeah, I wasn't a heavy metaler either, but I did catch a little bit of it, and I got a little nostalgic. I mean, I was surprised with how many of his songs I knew, and was a bit nostalgic. So, curious.
Yeah, I mean, when he went out on his own, he did Crazy Train and had a bunch of hits there.
Yeah.
And
Mama, I'm Coming Home.
Yeah,
that's a great tune.
Yeah,
it was sad what I got to see. Hey, brother, we spent some time together yesterday.
We did.
We went to Union Station.
We did.
And
well, I tell you what. I don't know, folks, if you've been there lately or not, but I mean, what a magnificent facility that is.
Yeah, and it's been through so many transformations.
Yeah.
But what stayed pure is that beautiful grand hall, which I think that's architecture you can put up against almost anything in the world.
Yeah, and that's where we were, in the grand hall.
Why were we there?
The governor was signing the entertainment district legislation.
Yeah, there was a piece of legislation being signed, a bipartisan piece of legislation that created an entertainment district in downtown St. Louis. It had been pushed by the Cardinals, the Blues, the city soccer team, owners of hotels, and a lot of the businesses in downtown St. Louis, which essentially creates a entertainment district from the river out to Jefferson, from Highway 40 over to Washington Avenue, maybe a little further north.
Yeah, it basically encompasses all of the sports venues and everything in between.
And it affords this district an opportunity to, one, tax itself for purposes of extra policing, but two, it also allows it an opportunity to operate more of a festival-like setting. You've been down to Bourbon Street, right?
Oh, sure,
or
yeah.
Times Square.
Yeah.
What they do is they create an entertainment district, and that gives the police and security an opportunity even more to be able to say, hey, there are no guns allowed in this area as a result of Cardinal games, etc. And so allows them to put different restrictions
like
in.
checkpoints and
checkpoints in, yeah. And it can be helpful even when we have like 4th of July, or, if we ever have concerts that come back to downtown. But it was a huge, significant achievement, had support from both sides of the aisle. And all the sports teams were there, John, saying, boy, this is a vital tool, and we're grateful to have it.
Yeah, and I do think, you've got to change the narrative because the downtown has to thrive. You need to have, it needs to be a drawing card for the region and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as the perception of lack of public safety is out there, you're fighting a losing battle. And so I think maybe with this entertainment district, you'll start seeing police on the street, hopefully.
Yep.
And just the presence of a police officer is a deterrent to crime.
Right. And the governor was there yesterday. It was a ceremonial thing, right? They were signing a piece of legislation. The mayor was there. I was really impressed by the entire ceremony. Mike McMillan was there from the Urban League. Bob O'Loughlin, the owner of Union Station.
That
mayor.
guy, by the way.
Yeah.
You talk about just movers and shakers in this community.
Yeah.
Bob O'Loughlin is, I would say, one of the most important civic figures that St. Louis has had in the past 50 years. I mean, he's very, very significant.
Yeah, and so many of the cool things that we have in St. Louis, whether it be the Wheel, the Ballpark Hilton, the aquarium, all of this stuff, Cheshire, Westport Plaza, it's all the O'Loughlins.
Yeah.
But the governor gave a speech yesterday, and he did two things that were impressive to me. Number one, he was quite complimentary of Mayor Spencer.
He was.
And what she's done in the short period of time that she's been there, the tone that she's brought, the challenges they've faced as a tornado. And secondly, John, and I was just so impressed by the governor saying what we all know, and it's never been heard from people who've sat in that office in the past, which is, look, St. Louis is the engine of this entire state. He talked specifically about the 5 counties on the eastern side of Missouri, and that our entire state's economy is pushed forward by what happens here. it was just great to hear a governor, Republican or Democrat, sit there and say, this is what matters.
Yeah, I mean, we've really not had a governor from, well, I guess Eric Greitens had a cup of coffee. He was from St. Louis. But Mike Keel, born and raised in St. Louis, and it's refreshing. And he did recognize St. Louis City, St. Louis County, St. Charles, Franklin, Jefferson counties. That part of the greater St. Louis area is extremely important to the entire state.
Yeah, and he just talked about the importance of St. Louis growing again. He had been on some international trade missions where he said that they were trying to bring stuff back. But I just think it was helpful. I saw a governor with a magnifying glass on St. Louis, and I don't think we've had that in quite some time.
Yeah, and the other thing he did and does is he constantly calls out members of the General Assembly and congratulates them and appreciates them by name when they pass legislation. I've not seen governors do that.
Well,
and really cultivate those kind of relationships with the legislative branch that are so important. I guarantee you, I don't know that any other governor could have gotten through that package to do the Kansas City Chiefs and Royals,
right?
Like Mike Kehoe got done. He got that done because of his legislative relationships.
Well, and there were Democrats, my friend Brian Williams and Carla May, was sitting right in the front row with the governor, and the first two people he acknowledged from the legislature were the two Democrats and what they meant. It's just refreshing to see they're working together. Look, Mike Parsons got some wacky Republican ideas. I'm not into all of them. But what I'm into is his focus on St. Louis and this idea that we can work together no matter where we're at in the state and how important St. Louis is, John.
That voice you hear is Michael Kelly. I'm John Hancock. We'll be back after this on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Ready to make lake life a reality? With Anywhere Lombardo at Lake of the Ozarks, you can build a home designed just for you. Whether it's a cozy retreat or a luxurious lakeside escape, our custom designs bring your vision to life, set against stunning lake views and peaceful surroundings. The perfect balance of relaxation and adventure. With a trusted builder backed by long-standing vendor relationships, you'll enjoy cost savings and superior quality from start to finish. Start your dream home today with Anywhere Lombardo. Visit lombardohomes.com to learn more.
Two legendary bands, one epic night, Collective Soul, and Live are bringing the rock to St. Louis. Catch their summer unity tour at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater July 17th with special guest Braylon James Rue. Don't miss your chance to hear such hits as Shine, December, I Alone, and All Over You. Collective Soul and Live. Tickets can be found at Ticketmaster.com. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
Welcome back to the Hancock and Kelly Show. We're the political guys on KMOX. John, I used to run the Democratic Party in Missouri. You used to run the Republican Party, and we've been doing this for how long together now?
16 years.
16 years. I think we've talked politics from a Democratic and Republican perspective. Hancock and Kelly also on TV Sunday mornings, 8:30 Fox 2.
Yep.
Okay, Elon Musk, right?
Yep.
Donald Trump's best friend goes there. They've had a breakup. The world's richest man now says he's going to go out and start a third party.
The American Party.
The American Party. Some of that I think is a lot. That sounds very appealing to a lot of people because they're frustrated with the extremism of the Republican Party and the extremism of the Democratic Party. They may be open to this. We've seen upstarts of third parties in the past. Ross Perot most recently.
That would be the
mind.
Reform Party.
Reform Party, and it fizzled. This particular effort may have the richest man in the world. Can it work?
No, I don't think so. You've had established third parties, Libertarian Party, Green Party. They run typically candidates for president. Sometimes they run candidates down the ballot. You know how many members of a third party serve in the Congress of the United States?
None.
Zero.
Couple independents.
Yeah, but I mean, it's Bernie Sanders.
Democrats,
right.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I don't think it's going to succeed. You have a better chance of taking over one of the existing political parties. In fact, that's what Donald Trump's done. He has remade the Republican Party in his image. I don't think Donald Trump, if he ran as a third party candidate, would have had anywhere near the success he's had. And you can't build a political party from the top down. You've got to build it from the ground up. And nobody's ever been able to do that in American history.
You and I have talked extensively about the fact that it's only about 25% of the people who are participating in primaries.
That's
and their
the problem.
ultimate. So you have a large portion of people who are sitting out there by their silence, I guess, objecting to the candidates. Wait a minute, though. Here comes Elon Musk. He may have candidates who are a little more centric, who may not be the guys who want to go ban books and may not also be the people who want to go let criminals run free, looking at more common sense stuff. If he's able to mobilize that 60, 70% of people who don't participate in primaries, even at a small level, can't he chip away at the two-party system?
I don't really think so. And you've got to have some organizing principles around which your candidates can cling, the party platform, for example. So what is this third party going to stand for? We don't know. And Amy made a great point yesterday that if he really wants to do this, given the fact, he's a drug user and he likes low regulations and low taxes, he ought to just take over the Libertarian Party. It already exists and might comport to his set of principles, for organizing. And at least there you've got an existing infrastructure that you could fund. You'd have members, not many, but you have members of the party across the country. But even that, I don't think is gonna work here. What has happened historically in this country is that the parties change. Democrat and Republican Party. We had the Whigs for a cup of coffee before the Republicans came in, but the parties essentially just evolve over time and change. And so the Republican Party of today doesn't look anything like the Republican, not much like the Republican Party of 40 years ago.
So could that essentially what you're describing is realignment?
Yeah.
And we've seen that before.
Yes.
Arguably, even in our lifetimes, we saw it in the 60s as Southern Democrats became Republicans. Yep. We're now seeing the educational, the banking, the financial elites now really identifying with the Democratic Party. A lot of the working class Americans are starting to identify with the Republican Party, which is interesting. And then you throw in this whole world and international policy, foreign policy thing. Could his efforts hasten the realignment where we're going to start to see people who typically had identified as Republicans say, I'm done with these folks. They want to let Putin run wild. I'm leaving. Or other Democrats say, I'm done with these folks. I'm going to go fight for people who are fighting for me rather than these unique individuals.
Well, I think you certainly can make a case that the Democratic Party took for granted the working class white voter for a long time. And it took Donald Trump to come into the Republican Party and actually woo them and recruit them and speak to them. So it would take, on the corollary, people who are in the Republican Party who don't like tariffs, they don't like American foreign policy that supports dictators, for example. Well, the Democrats are going to have to find a candidate that speaks to them, to those voters. And I don't know how many of them there are, but the Democrats are going to have a candidate who's tough on communism and likes free trade. And then I think they'll get some of those votes, those disaffected Republican votes.
Hey, before we step aside, we're going to join Amy and Chris here in a couple of minutes. Yep. Do you think the president faces some serious problems as it relates to saying he was going to be the president that took us out of wars? In fact, he was going to end them on day one, and now he finds himself in two wars that potentially may grow as soon as Monday. He says he's making a big announcement on Russia on Monday.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think within his base, Donald Trump has done any damage to himself. The folks that voted for him, that believe in him, who like him, I don't know that there's any kind of policy action he could take that's going to turn those folks off.
Let's start this right now. Any Democrat out there that's starting to put a sparkle out there where you're like, let's keep an eye on him. Is anybody getting to the top of the cream? Maybe not. Maybe every week we can check in.
Yeah, no, I don't see anybody.
I really like this Rahm Emanuel, man. Yeah. I love the way that he's talking. It may be too insider, but I feel as though he's kind of starting to lay a groundwork to really identify with a lot of that working class.
He's pretty institutional, though. Yep. And this populism appears to rule the day in both parties. So we'll see what happens. That's Michael Kelly. I'm John Hancock. Chris and Amy are coming up next. Should be a barrel of monkeys in here. But top of the hour is next on KMOX.
It's Friday, which means we've got Hancock and Kelly, and we've got questions for them. Is St. Louis overpriced? And what about all those bills that Governor Mike Kehoe signed? And Michael Kelly has a theory about Chris Ranji. It all starts at 9 a.m. on the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell.